say is that the inaugural season was obviously this huge injection of energy because of where the team came from, and obviously just there was an injection of everything from resources to excitement, but going into this expectations. And one of the things that General Manager Bill Armstrong talks so much about is the expectation that we're rebuild. But what's really reinvigorating and exciting to see is the fact that it doesn't, even though we're still kind of in the middle of that process. So the fun part about this is the fact that it's still very high, but also we're seeing a lot of success. So with those two things in conjunction together, this might start off really high.
So they laid the groundwork in year one, and before year two, they were able to go out and make some splashes. JJ Peterka, one of the bigger splashes of the offseason. What has he brought the top six in Utah?
I think it's been fantastic to see his skills slowly but surely jive with his line and the chemistry that both Logan Cooley and Dylan Gunther have been able to create. And it didn't necessarily start that way. We did deal with a little bit of the injury bug in the preseason, so it was kind of a slow burn. But, the skill is there, and it's going to be one of those things by the time he rolls around. This team or this line's going to be unstoppable. So he's been a great addition, obviously young, and there's a huge future for him. So by himself, fantastic. With that line, even better.
Justin mentioned a point a little earlier that the Utah Mammoth have 95% of their goals from players under 30, which is the highest percentage in the NHL. I just wonder, the energy around a young team who are contributing, who are getting their feet wet in the NHL, pushing each other. It reminds me of our Toronto Blue Jays, who had a lot of youngins that were overachieving over the season. What is that like to be around a team that is meshing really well, that are young, and also getting their feet wet in the NHL for the first time?
Well, it's funny. We talk about them as the young kid line, but the reality is, their experience and what they've been able to do as a young kid line, or the two top lines being so young, maturity is actually the word that we use a lot. They're mature beyond their years, and it's been fun because they're not to the ice. And this young core has been with this organization and with these people for a long time, dating back before Utah. So the progression of that experience together as a group has been very evident, and there's a lot of trust with this organization and this team. So between the fun, the trust, and obviously the maturity that we're continuing to see on a regular basis, head coach Andre Tourigny talks about consistency. I think we're starting to see a really good consistent streak and the upward trend when it comes to the kid lines.
Leave it to me to bring up the old guy, but Nate Schmidt won a Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers last year. He's come to Utah, and he's put up some really, really good underlying numbers. I think he's +7 on ice goals for, which is really good for a guy who's taking a bigger role than he had last year with the Florida Panthers. And I know, despite him maybe not fitting in terms of the age, he is a locker room guy. What has Nate Schmidt brought the group?
Ohio State, and had a pro career that included time in the ECHL and the AHL.
We're Logan siblings, and we're here in Pittsburgh ready to root for Logan. Having him here in Pittsburgh is a dream come true for us. We supported him throughout his career, played street hockey, ice hockey, everything to help him get here, and he's amazing. We're very proud of him, and we're hoping he does very well tonight.
And as an NHL player, there's also a business side of it, as acknowledged by the team's owner, Ryan Smith.
Logan is 21. This is probably the biggest decision that he's ever made in his life.
Like on the ice, Cooley had his family's support off the ice throughout the contract process.
I have an unbelievable family. They're so supportive with everything I do, and they're a big part of helping me make my decision. It's not easy as a 21-year-old kid to make this type of decision. And, I feel like a lot of people might think, you see the money and think it's easy, but there's a lot that goes into it. And I'm super happy that I had them to lean on and help get me through this type of situation.
Logan Cooley here for the next 8+ with the Mammoth. That was a lot of fun putting that feature together, and what a special family the Cooleys of Pittsburgh are. Hey, we had Logan Cooley on the Nashcast that dropped today, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Tyson Nash, and Mike Folta. An in-depth conversation, the whole episode with Logan Cooley, over a half hour going with Logan. So check out the Nashcast, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. A great episode with Mike and Tyson that I caught earlier today. When we come back, Mike joins us. He'll be with Lawson Krause, one of 5 Utah forwards from Ontario. We'll hear from Mike and the Sheriff rolling back right after this, ahead of tonight's face-off with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mammoth coming in at 9-5. Toronto's won 4 of 5. They're 7-5-1 on the year, 6-2-1 at home. Our one-on-one with Mike in 67 next here on Hockey Night in Utah.
Utah Mammoth Hockey is back at Delta Center. Don't miss your chance to be part of the excitement. Buy your tickets now at UtahMammoth.com. Great seats are available for most games and selling quickly. UtahMammoth.com. Your home for all things Mammoth hockey.
Looking for the perfect treat? Dive into True Fruit, where nature's fruit meets rich, indulgent chocolate. True Fruit's fresh fruit is hyper-chilled to lock in flavor and nutrition. With clean ingredients you can feel good about. Whether you're craving strawberries, cherries, or blueberries, True Fruit is your go-to snack. Find True Fruit in the freezer aisle, wherever you shop for your groceries. True Fruit. Indulge in the best of nature.
Utah, let's keep winning. On the court, on the ice, and in your business. Les Olson IT is your local partner for technology that never quits. From managed IT and cloud solutions to printers, copiers, security cameras, and alarms, Les Olson IT has got you covered. Celebrating 10 years in IT, backed by 70 years of trusted business experience. Les Olson IT, keeping Utah connected, secure, and ready to win.
Les Olson IT.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps, spiced cider in every glass, laughter around every plate. At Smith's, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
No more postponing your dreams due to your busy lifestyle. Nightingale College gives you the opportunity to have the ideal work-life balance from the comfort of your home. Our nursing classes are 100% online with no waiting lists and are designed to help you succeed along your journey to become a nurse. Don't let life get in your way. Become a Nightingale nurse. Visit us today at nightingale.edu. Now accepting applications along the Wasatch Front for our upcoming spring semester.
At Atlas Investment Management, we get to know you. Unlike the large national firms, we are right here in your community. We take the time to understand your goals, your dreams, your story. And then we build a proactive, hands-on strategy around them. Because outperform isn't just our tagline, it's who we are. Atlas Investment Management, where you are our focus.
Investment advisory services offered through Ignite Planners LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Hey Utah, are you ready for the Utah Mammoth to hit the ice? Catch every moment of the action with Mammoth Plus. Stream games, watch anywhere, and get games and highlights anytime. Stream at UtahMammothPlus.com.
We are ready. Puck drop is right around the corner on Hockey Night in Utah. Utah is on its feet. Here's Adrian Denny.
We told you Lawson Krause is one of 5 Ontario natives skating for the Mammoth tonight. All forwards, Michael Carcone, Barrett Hayton, Jack McBain, Brandon Tanev, the others. And that's our lock of the night tonight. What Ontario native scores first for the Mammoth in Ontario? 54.3% of you said Barrett Hayton, 23.9%. Lawson Krause, 10.9% for Carcone. And then you got Jack McBain and Brandon Tanev. You can pick from too, also collecting about 10% of the votes. At 801 Adrian Denny on Twitter, on X, you can get involved with our lock of the night. We'll get Mike Folta's lock of the night coming up before our face-off just after 5 p.m. from the Scotiabank Arena. But first, we got Mike's one-on-one this evening. Lawson Krause looking for 2 goals in 3 games, and right now he is with our very own Mike Folta, Scotiabank Arena.
Looking at Toronto, a team that doesn't have maybe great underlying numbers, but still a winning record and still some of the best players in the world that are scoring goals. What have you guys seen in the video that you guys have watched on them, and how do you kind of keep them in check tonight?
Obviously, we got to eliminate time and space for them out there. In the neutral zone, some of their guys like to gather speed and upgrade to the middle and then make plays from there. But yeah, saying that, they got a lot of high-end skill. They get some hard-working guys that can get to the net. So it's just a balance about, playing our game, but also being aware of trying to close and take away time and space.
Your line with McBain and Carcone's been out to a good start this year. Feels like you guys have a couple game-changing shifts every game. I guess what has the chemistry been like, but also how have you guys evolved since the start of the season?
I think the chemistry has been good. I think if you take a look at our game, we're fast, we're big, physical, and we get offensive chances. Unfortunately, they haven't been going into the back of the net as much as we'd like, but the chances are there, and when they're not there, there's a little bit of an issue. So I think it's just going to take a game where a couple of them go in for us. But yeah, I just think reading off of each other and playing that north-south game, I think that's what makes us a powerful line.
A lot of teams in back-to-backs just roll out their second goaltender and say good luck, but Vitek's been really good for you guys to start this year. What's the level of confidence that you guys have with him and with how he's played to start this year? Does that strengthen your guys' resolve on these back-to-backs a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. I think anytime whatever goalie's going in, they're giving us a great chance to win the game, and they've both been phenomenal. I think we have all the trust in the world in both of our goalies, and that's a great feeling to have as players, to know that the game's they don't always go perfect. Like, mistakes are going to be out there, and knowing that your goalie's there to back you up is a good feeling.
Any family in town for you tonight?
Yeah, I got some family, some friends. It's usually a pretty busy post game here for me, but yeah.
Thanks, Lawson. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Mike Folta and Lawson Krause. As we'll kick it right back to the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. Mike Folta joining us. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Adrian. Everyone has arrived at Scotiabank Arena, all here and accounted for. There was no long march to the building this year in Toronto, unlike last year.
No Christmas parade on a Wednesday evening, you're telling us.
No Christmas parade. We didn't have a Taylor Swift concert to interfere. We just have some morning Toronto Blue Jays fans passing by as we drove on our way to Scotiabank Arena, traffic free. But we're ready and locked in tonight, second of a back-to-back for this Mammoth team that has never before beaten the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Looking for that first one tonight. Mike, you look at Utah's top two lines, outscoring their opponents 20-10. Toronto losing 100-plus points in Mitch Marner, but you can't tell. Talk about the offensive skill on both sides that we've got going at it this evening.
Well, we thought last night was going to be pretty up and down with a lot of chances at both ends, and we did have a lot of chances, especially in the first period of that Buffalo game, but it was only a 2-1 finish. Could be that offensive explosion we were looking at last night, could get that tonight here with a Maple Leafs team that is as bad defensively as they are good offensively. You mentioned the absence of Mitch Marner. Yeah, that's true, but they still have Hall of Famers on their lineup. You start with guys like Austin Matthews, and then to someone who's going to be recognized in just a few moments, John Tavares. He has had a great start to the year. Tavares, 6 goals already this season. Matthews, 7. Then you throw in Willie Nylander and Josh Morrissey on the back end, and they could beat you at all 3 levels. Anthony Stolarz expected to be the netminder tonight for head coach Craig Berube, but stars everywhere, as you'd expect for the Leafs.
Utah going to go with Vitek Vanacek, 2-1 on the year. He's allowed 2 goals in 3 straight starts. Mike, last time we saw Vitek, game just like this, a back-to-back against a good team. It was in Winnipeg. He stopped 28 of 30, and the Mammoth took home his second straight 3-2 win.
Vitek has allowed exactly 2 goals in all of the games that he's played so far this year. He's done it 3 times. And like you said, last time it was on the second of a back-to-back. That was his best game of the year against the Winnipeg Jets, the reigning President Trophy winning Winnipeg Jets. Vitek Vanacek has looked like a regular NHL number 1 goaltender since we've seen him in preseason. And just because it's game 2 of a back-to-back does not mean that Utah is taking anything out of their effort for this game that they would have had in game 1.
All right, Mike, I got to get your lock of the night. What Ontarian is going to score first for Utah in this game? To choose from You've got Michael Carcone, Lawson Krause, Barrett Hayton, Jack McBain, Brandon Tanev. Me and Will Trubshaw took Lawson Krause. Kim took Barrett Hayton, and Nick took Jack McBain.
There can only be one answer, and it is the Toronto native Jack McBain. That's who I'm going with.
He's got 3 goals against the Leafs for his career. Mike, when we come back, it's all yours because it's time for the game. Mike Folta, all of our action from Toronto, Ontario. Game 2 of this 4-game road trip. Mammoth looking for an NHL leading 10th win next on Hockey Night in Utah.
Attention Jazz Nation. We know you've been waiting on the edge of your seat, and the time has finally arrived. All tickets are available now. Let's go! Your favorite players will be back on the court, bringing the energy all season long. Whether you're looking for season tickets, any plan, or single-game matchups, there's a perfect option for every kind of fan. Show up loud and proud at Delta Center this season. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action. Buy your tickets today at UtahJazz.com. Utah Mammoth are here for an exciting season. And Trucordia, the group name for a nationwide insurance brokerage based here in Utah, is proud to be a founding partner. The Trucordia companies deliver insurance solutions to help you protect what matters most. Home plus auto, employee benefits, construction, cyber. Trucordia blocks risks to help you ensure your goals. Learn more at Trucordia, spelled TRUCORDIA.com.
Tusks up, my guy. Woo! Tips up, my dude.
Come again?
Mammoth Hockey and Icon Pass. Both mind-blowing. The second lets you drop in on over 60 mountains worldwide, including Utah favorites Deer Valley, Solitude, Alta, Snowbird, and Snowbasin. Oh, right. Tips up. And Tusks up. Enjoy more with Icon Pass starting at $349 adult. Score now at iconpass.com.
For over a century, one name stands above the rest when it comes to ice cream and bringing families together. Far Better Ice Cream creates magical moments, one delicious scoop at a time. From your favorite childhood flavors to exciting new combinations, Far's has something to satisfy every craving. Visit your local grocery store and take your favorite Far's flavor home with you, or grab a scoop during the game. Far Better Ice Cream, bringing families together for more than a century, one scoop at a time. Far Better Ice Cream, only the best for family and friends.
The biggest games in the world.
Ovechkin fires. He scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the Utah Mammoth. Utah Mammoth Hockey is on the air. Code Blue! And this is Hockey Night in Utah.
I cannot wait to get this place busted!
Hockey Night in Utah is powered by Mammoth Plus, your all-access streaming platform for your Utah Mammoth, and by the Utah Mammoth socials. Follow at Utah Mammoth on Instagram, X, and TikTok today. What valor! It's time for Utah Mammoth Hockey. At the empty net! Here's the radio voice of your Utah Mammoth. Bingo! Mike Folta.
The great Galileo once proposed that the sun, not the earth, was the center of the universe. He was ridiculed in his time. Tonight, we are pulled by the NHL's gravitational field towards the center of the hockey universe, Toronto. Nowhere else in our solar system is a hockey team so revered, loved, and hated than right here on the northern shores of Lake Ontario. Welcome to Toronto, welcome to Scotiabank Arena, and welcome to hockey's administrative capital. It's the Utah Mammoth and the Toronto Maple Leafs on Hockey Night in Utah. Mike Folta, glad to be with you here this evening, coming to you after Utah pulled off a 2-1 overtime victory against the Buffalo Sabres last night. Clayton Keller was the OT hero just 47 seconds into the extra frame. Nick Schmaltz started the scoring in the third period. It took Utah until the third to get their first goal, even though the Mammoth put up 35 shots on Alex Lyon. The Mammoth had chances galore. They were great on the power play, couldn't score. They were great at 5-on-5, but had to wait till the third to eventually crack the scoreboard. Buffalo quickly answered Schmaltz's goal, and then Keller lifted the roof and said goodnight. Let's head to Toronto. And so the Mammoth have a win under their belts already at the start of a 4-game road trip. Right after this game, Utah will be playing Montreal later during the weekend, and then the Ottawa Senators coming up. So the next 3 games here in Canada, north of the border, before Utah heads back home. Toronto has been up and down to start this season. The Leafs coming into tonight are just above 500. They had a crazy comeback on Monday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins in a 4-3 win. They were down 3-0 in that game before they scored 4 straight goals in the third period to snatch a win away from Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. But if you would have read some of the local articles here in Toronto the following morning, you would have thought that the Leafs just lost their 8th straight Game 7. Maple Leafs have been to the playoffs 9 straight years, but have only been past the second round twice since 2004, and their last Stanley Cup came in 1967. It is a ceremonial evening here in Toronto. They'll be honoring John Tavares for his 500th career goal with a ceremony coming in just a few moments. In fact, we talked to Utah's head coach, Andre Tourigny, about John Tavares and his impact in Toronto.
I had the privilege to coach him during the World Championship, and what a pro. What guy was his preparation, his effort, his focus, his elite every night. So it's great to see a guy who's that talented, who take the game so seriously and bring it to another level. I think I like to see those athletes when they're so committed and successful. That's a great story.
Bear also talked about turning the page for tonight. Let's hear from Utah's head coach on tonight's matchup against the Maple Leafs.
First of all, we have to turn the page. Toronto is a really good team of the forecheck and of the rush. So the way we play in the neutral zone to limit their time and space and apply as much pressure on them so they can have good puck placement and use their forecheck or having easy entry. So it's a good league, and every night you need to bring your A game. So we need to turn the page, which I'm happy about the discussion we had with the boys this morning. I think we're tuning in.
Well, like we said, here in Toronto, it's the center of the hockey universe, and that means that pretty much every team across the NHL has a whole bunch of players on their roster from Toronto, or at least from the province of Ontario. Our own Sarah Merrifield caught up with one of Utah's Ontario-born players, Michael Carcone, earlier during warm-ups.
Michael, this group is coming off one of the best offensive performances last night, setting season high in things like slot passes, cycle chances, to name a few. What do you want to see carry over tonight?
Yeah, I think just play the same way. I thought we played a great game. We were all over them. I think we should have won in regulation, but just be consistent.
Can you explain the importance of puck management against this Toronto team tonight?
Yeah, they definitely have some really good players over there, so obviously we want to hold on to the puck and, try to keep it behind their net or in their zone.
And how has maturity helped generate confidence for this group to start the season?
Yeah, just a talk on the ice and even on the bench, just calming everyone down. It's been great.
Thanks so much. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Guys?
And a thank you to Sarah over on the TV side of HockeyNet in Utah, talking to Michael Carcone out of Ajax, Ontario. There are 5 Utah skaters from the Ontario province in the lineup tonight. Carcone, Lawson Krause, Jack McBain, Brandon Tanev, and Barrett Hayton. Utah coming off a 2-1 win. That snapped what was a 2-game losing streak. On the other side, Toronto has won 4 of their last 5, even though they are above 500. Like I said earlier, some of the scribes here in town are not happy with the way the Leafs have been playing. It's been an up-and-down start to the year, and the first 40 minutes against Pittsburgh on Monday were some of the worst 40 minutes that a lot of fans have seen here from this team in recent memory. Now, again, they have the skill to erase those kinds of deficits that they faced against the Penguins. However, getting down 3-0 in the first place is a big part of the problem. A good start is crucial for the Utah Mammoth tonight. Mammoth have been good opening up games. Toronto, on the other side, has now trailed in 8 straight contests at some point during the game. Both teams have been good at coming back in games and erasing deficits. Both are tied for the league lead with 5 comeback wins on the year. Utah will also face Matias Michelli, who was a founding member of the Utah Hockey Club a season ago. Michelli spent a couple of years with the Arizona Coyotes playing alongside many of these players, and then also played alongside many of them in Mountain Blue a year ago. Michelli was traded in late June here to Toronto for a third-round pick. He has 2 goals and 3 assists so far this season. We are approaching the special hour of which they are rolling out a blue carpet for John Tavares and his family. We will cut to commercial during part of the ceremony and rejoin you ahead of both of our anthems here at Scotiabank Arena.
Every Mammoth fan knows hydration is key, and your family deserves the best at home. That's why Superior Water and Air is the preferred water treatment provider of the Utah Mammoth. For a limited time, get $500 off a new tankless water heater and enjoy cleaner water, softer showers, and reliable hot water all season long. Call Superior Water and Air at 801-948-2674 or visit SuperiorWaterandAir.com. Superior Water and Air, trusted by Utah families and the Utah Mammoth.
There's a new team in town. Mark Miller Subaru and the Utah Jazz. We're joining forces to champion Utah's future game changers. By donating school supplies and creating innovative programs, we're giving Utah kids the advantage.
Because when the kids win, we all win.
Let's do this, Utah.
Federal employees keep our country going, and GEHA is proud to keep them going with health plans exclusively for them. We were started by postal employees in 1937, and today we offer all federal employees a network of 1.7 million providers and a health plan for every stage of life. That's why we've been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. GEHA. Find your federal health plan at GEHA.com.
The Utah Mammoth know the value of a strong defense. And at home, your defense against plumbing problems is Beehive Plumbing, the preferred plumbing provider of the Utah Mammoth. Right now, score big with Beehive Plumbing's water heater and drain specials, including $50 off any plumbing service. Don't sit in the penalty box with plumbing troubles. Call Beehive Plumbing today at 801-948-2687 or visit beehiveplumbing.com. Beehive Plumbing, trusted by Utah, trusted by the Mammoth.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena, where, as we speak, John Tavares is skating over to his family and reaching down towards 2 of his little sons as he gets honored here in front of the Maple Leaf faithful for scoring 500 career NHL goals. He is just the 49th player in NHL history to ever reach such a milestone. He goes around shaking hands. He's with the general manager, Brad Treliving, right now for the Maple Leafs as they pose for a picture. Tavares reached the milestone the other week on October 29th against the Columbus Blue Jackets. It was in a 6-3 loss against Columbus, but a milestone all the same for the former captain of the Maple Leafs, Tavares, who in a rather stunning and heartfelt move gave the captaincy to Austin Matthews the other year, and there are not many who would have done that or would have even expected that of an NHL captain, but Tavares felt like it was the right move to try and bring this city a Stanley Cup. Clearly someone who puts his craft and his team above his own personal goals as he poses with Treliving and his family holding a golden stick. We see the silver stick for playing 1,000 career games, but a golden stick for John Tavares for reaching 500 career NHL goals. Of course, he scored a great many of them with the New York Islanders. He eventually came over here to Toronto, his hometown team. He is a Mississauga native. It's just down the road, a little west of where we are at Scotiabank Arena right now. A local boy, and he was called home to play with the Maple Leafs, and this city believes that he is part of a group that can eventually bring a Stanley Cup back to this city that has longed for hardware ever since 67. Tavares now taking a little special moment with his family as our ceremony starts to conclude. But congratulations to John Tavares, an excellent player who has been a key piece of the NHL for well over a decade, entering season number 17, John Tavares. Both teams now at the blue lines, and here's the anthems.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' bright glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
After an extended preamble, we are ready here on Hockey Night in Utah. Let's get to the starters for the Mammoth.
The Utah Mammoth, starting six.
Clayton Keller, forward, St. Louis, Missouri.
Barrett Heaton, center, Peterborough, Ontario. Nick Schmaltz, right wing, Verona, Wisconsin.
Mikhail Sergeychev, defenseman, Nizhny. Dmitry Simoshev, defenseman, Yaroslavl. Vitek Vaniček, goalie, Havličkov Brod. Andres Ringy, head coach, Nicolas Quebec.
Head coach Andre Cherney has his midnight rule. You can celebrate the win or mourn the loss until midnight, and then we turn the page. Utah had the 2-1 win over Buffalo last night, but this team has to step forward into this road trip, game 2 of the trip, against a very talented, albeit disconnected, Toronto Maple Leafs team. We start out with Nick Waugh against Barrett Hayden at the opening draw. The puck is down, and we are underway here on Hockey Night in Utah. Mammoth lost in regulation against Toronto last year and then lost in a shootout as well. This puck comes out of the Utah zone. Racing up the ice is Schmaltz. Schmaltz, pass across. Keller to the middle. Hayden coming right in, and that rolled off his tape. And the Maple Leafs get to it. They escort it to center, courtesy of Nick Waugh. Keller got taken out by Dakota Joshua. He's one of the thumpers for Toronto. 30 seconds into period number 1. After the Leafs mishandled a puck in the neutral zone, Schmaltz and Keller had a rush up the ice, and Keller almost hit the trailer, who was Barrett Hayden, another one of these Ontario natives. Sergachev, right point, pass across, shot into the glove of Anthony Stolars, and we stop play 49 seconds in to the first frame. Let's get to our All-SCO uniform check. If your business needs laundered uniforms delivered each week for your employees, remember, it pays to keep clean with Allsco uniforms. Maple Leafs in their timeless two-tone template, blue and white numbers, blue everything else. Utah in their salt white kits with rock black numbers, mountain blue trim. Icing whistle here against the Maple Leafs, despite the efforts of Willie Styles, as they call him, William Nylander. He thought he beat his counter number 88, Nate Schmidt, to the puck in the Utah end, but this is icing against the Maple Leafs, and Nylander has taken his sweet old time to get back, understandably. Offensive zone draw for Cooley, Peterka, and Gunther. This group was just a little bit off the other night against the Sabres in Peterka's return to face his former team. No doubt an emotional night for him. And he got some boos from the Sabres faithful whenever he touched the puck. Snapped ahead by Morgan Riley, cut off at center, but Matthew Nyes carries it across the blue line. In with Austin Matthews. Matthews sends it around the boards for Nyes. Puck comes in front, stolen away by Peterka. Outletting for Cooley. Cooley races in on the right wing, feeds the middle. Gunther couldn't get a shot away. Brandon Carlo got his stick on that. Marino goes D-to-D for Nate Schmidt. His shot partially blocked. Cooley takes it behind the Toronto net, goes low to high, all the way upstairs. Schmidt a drive off the goal stick of Stolarz, and Nylander is able to angle this out to center. But a good shift there by Cooley and the kids. Logan Cooley, Dylan Gunther, and J.J. Peterka. Not quite 2 minutes into period number one. 0-0 our score as Toronto makes a change and Bobby McMahon swerves in down the left wing. McMahon had the overtime winner, or the game winner, I should say, against the Pittsburgh Penguins back on Monday when Toronto scored 4 straight. Puck out of play brings us to a face-off here in the Utah zone right next to Vitek Vanacek. Vanacek has basically been starting either 1 out of every 3 or 1 out of every 4 games to start the year. Last time out against Winnipeg was his best game. Helped Utah pick up a 3-2 win against the Jets on the second game of a back-to-back in Winnipeg. Vanacek has allowed just 2 goals in each of his 3 starts so far this year. Kyler Yamamoto on the ice pursuing the puck. Nice play by Ian Cole to keep this alive for Utah, but Tanev walks it back out to center. And the Mammoth reorganize. Brandon Tanev, another Toronto native, pass deflects out of play, and we get a whistle. Not quite 2.5 minutes into the first period. Nomi Health and the Utah Mammoth are expanding access to NHL games through the Nomi Cares community ticket program, giving more fans a chance to feel the energy at Delta Center. Learn more on the community page at utahmammoth.com. We'll drop the puck right at center ice. Jack McBain, a Toronto kid, at the faceoff dot for Utah. He helps win it back against Scott Lawton. Dmitry Simashev retraces his steps back into his own zone. There's Lawton. He was acquired via trade from Philadelphia at the trade deadline last year while Toronto was making a push. Puck turned over. That's Max Domi with a backhanded shot fought off by Vanacek as he makes his first save of the game. McBain steps into Jake McCabe on the far side, and Utah regains possession. Fired ahead by Sergachev. Carconi drags it across the line, turned it over. Steven Lorentz back in the lineup for Toronto. Walks this in across the blue line and sends it in deep. Both teams completing some changes. McBain looking ahead for Nick Schmaltz. In on the right flank. Schmaltz between the legs to Keller. Clayton Keller pass to the slot. Barrett Hayden couldn't get there in time. Up ahead it's Nylander. 1-on-1 with Schmidt. Nylander cuts in, shoots, and missed everything. Trying to go stick side on Vitek Vanacek. Nate Schmidt made that just hard enough for William Nylander all the way up the ice. Nylander back onto it. He is fantastic, as skilled as they come. Shot on by Austin Matthews, kicked out by Vanacek. Nylander and Matthews were put together and played together on a line the other night against Pittsburgh, and that worked wonders for the Maple Leafs and was a big part of a 3-goal comeback that ended in 2 points for Toronto. Nylander had 2 goals and an assist as a part of that comeback. J.J. Peterka pedals down the right wing. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, the former Arizona Coyote, plays it around the boards. Sent back to the left point for Logan Cooley. He zips one this way to Peterka. Peterka shoots. Blocker save made by Stolars. It's loose in the corner and claimed by Dakota Joshua, who gets a bump from Dylan Gunther. Waugh out to the defenseman Jake McCabe. And Dakota Joshua meanders through center, looking for Waugh on the left wing. He overskated. Below the goal line here in the Utah zone, Ole Mata looking to pry it free. Ole took some big hits the other night in Buffalo. Appears no worse for wear. Philip Meyer shoots through traffic and just missed the blocker of Vanacek. Skied out through center by the Mammoth, and the kid line will come off on a change. Still 0-0, almost 5 minutes into the first period. There's the former Utah Dakota Mermis on the ice for Toronto. Number 36 in blue. He sends one out to center, playing on the blue line for head coach Craig Berube here tonight. Utah picked Mermis up off of waivers last year. He played one game with the Mammoth, then was a waiver claim by the Maple Leafs. Utah has it with Sergachev on his own blue line. Fourth line on the ice right now for the Mountain Blue, trying to find a way into the Toronto zone, but back the other way comes Bobby McMahon. McMahon carries this down the near side over to John Tavares, Mr. 500. Kyler Yamamoto fishes one to center, and it's Stenlund for Tanev. Back to Stenlund, right circle. He drags and shoots. Stolars makes the save with the midsection, and we stop play. 14:26 left here in period number 1. Head coach Andre Tierney, we talked to earlier today, seemed pretty pleased with the way his group is playing. Let's hear from Bear.
I will say it started last year. You see in the matchup, you see in the prep, you see in the adjustment, and it's where we want to be, I guess. I think we're better equipped. We have 9 Stanley Cup in our room. Those guys been through that. It's not the first time they play against an opponent who has a game plan against them. I think that the team is more equipped.
Head coach Andre Tierney talking about how this year's team is better equipped to handle the ups and downs within a season, but also within a game. Some calls did not go in Utah's favor in the third period last night against Buffalo, but that did not rattle the Mammoth. They won 2-1 in OT. This is John Marino, who had an assist on Nick Schmaltz's third period goal. Barrett Hayden lost the puck at the red line, and Marino got knocked down. Ekman Larson has it back. Here is Matthew Nyes. He goes hard off the glass and into the Utah end. Nate Schmidt, the first one to it. Toronto in the offensive end. This is Nylander around looking for Matthews, but Marino cut it off. McCabe pinches on the right wing. Marino back to it. Nate Schmidt from this near corner hinges this ahead, but a little too far for Nick Schmaltz. 0-0 our score, just over 6 minutes into the first frame. Cole stepped into Scott Lawton there at center ice, and Utah gets the puck back in their own zone. Ole Mata skates out of the shadow of his own net. Indirect pass to Lawson Krause. This comes all the way back behind Anthony Stolars. He sends this up the glass himself, and it comes out to the Utah line. Ole Mata digging hard after it. Turns it over. Lawton caught up to by Krause. Puck in front, and it was spanked wide by Lawrence. Steven Lorentz missed the last couple games due to injury. Back in the lineup. This is the first time this year that Craig Berube for Toronto has had his full complement of forwards. Now it's Jack McBain swerving through center. Over to the near wall for Carcone. He spins through a hit. Shoots one off the right pad of Stolars. Leafs to center. They have numbers ahead with Waugh. Waugh one-on-one with Sergachev, who slows him down, and it's sent around the boards for Dakota Joshua. Simashev cancels him out in the near corner. Logan Cooley engaged in a stick battle. It comes out front for Morgan Riley. A drive just goes wide on the blocker side. Back behind the net, Joshua looking with Nick Waugh. Waugh was the player that came over from Vegas in the trade that sent Mitch Marner over to Sin City. Puck stolen by Dylan Gunther in his own zone. He races out across the line, got taken down, and there is Matias Michelli. Played with Utah last year. Michelli sends it ahead to Morgan Riley, but that's an offsides whistle against the Maple Leafs. 12:13 to go in period number 1. No score yet between Utah and Toronto when we come back on Hockey Night in Utah.
I'm Barrett Hayden. You're listening to Utah Mammoth Hockey.
I I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. We've got you covered with outdoor power equipment from Cobalt and everything you need to weatherproof your deck with Trex decking. Plus, with lawn care from Scott's and, of course, Pit Boss grills and accessories, you can get a home field advantage all season long. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
KSL Sports, Utah's sports leader, connecting you with your favorite local teams and the action you love. Live game coverage and news with KSL Sports Zone Radio, KSL 5 Television, and KSLSports.com. Live and streaming, insider analysis, and podcasts from the pros. Utah's sports leader, KSL Sports. On air, online, and on the KSL Sports app.
Bouncing ideas off each other. Both of us really love the game, work on our game in the summer. We skate a lot, and it's great to have that relationship, and especially I can learn a lot from him, how he shoots and the different things he's looking at and things like that. So I think it's really helped out my game a lot.
That's Utah's captain Clayton Keller talking about Austin Matthews, the captain for the Toronto Maple Leafs, who spent some time together in Arizona. Matthews from Arizona, born in California, but raised in AZ. Him and Keller getting some time to skate together, and they were both at Team USA orientation a few months ago. Doesn't mean that Keller's on the team for the Olympics coming up in February, but he was one of 44 players invited to that orientation. Of course, Austin Matthews was the captain of Team USA at the Four Nations tournament last February. Had 3 assists in 3 games as the U.S. came up in second, as many in Toronto would like you to remember. Puck stolen by Tavares, who rings one off the iron. That was nearly 5:01. Tavares on the near side. Skates and spins away from the check of Kevin Stenlund. Good work by Stenlund to force Tavares up high. Nylander, or rather Robertson, tried to play it between his legs. McMahon run into hard by Stenlund. Utah gets the puck back in their own zone. John Tavares hit the 500 mark a couple games ago and nearly had his next one, shooting a puck off the near post. Pucks down in the Toronto zone. We're scoreless with 11:20 to go in period number 1. Shots are 5-3 in favor of Utah, and an offside whistle stops play with 11:19 to go here in period number 1. So we'll drop this at neutral ice. Mammoth coming off that 2-1 overtime win. This is Utah's second back-to-back of the season. They swept their other back-to-back wins against Minnesota and then Winnipeg. That was part of a very impressive road trip for the Mammoth, in which they knocked off 3 teams that were all playing playoff hockey a year ago. Utah will have 7 back-to-backs before we get to Christmas this year. It is a very road-loaded and tight schedule in the first half of the year. That's going to benefit Utah in the back half of the season. Simashev rushes to a puck in the offensive zone, wrapped around the boards. Sergachev activates. McBain delivers a hit there on Dakota Joshua. And Philip Myers looks up ice for the Maple Leafs. Onto the stick of Nick Waugh, who maneuvers across the blue line and tries to step in past Dmitry Simashev. Simashev on the far side. And McBain bumps into Waugh. Puck stolen by the Maple Leafs. That flew through the blue paint, back out the other side. Tapped ahead on the near side boards and out to center by the Mammoth as Lawson Krause barrels in. Krause shoots and misses the 4x6. He'll glide back and make a change as both teams make switches here in the middle of period number 1. Captain's line on the ice for the Mammoth. Schmaltz, Keller, and Hayden. These 3 were fantastic the other night against the Buffalo Sabres. They accounted for Utah's 5-on-5 goal in the third, and then Keller had the 3-on-3 goal in overtime. This is Keller laying it back at the blue line. Schmaltz just barely held it in, but it was quickly vacuumed back in by Austin Matthews. Nylander looking for the pass down the middle to McCabe, and an offside whistle stops play as Nylander and Keller have a little entanglement at the blue line, but no harm, no foul, they say. 9:48 to go in the first period. Still looking for our first goal at Scotiabank Arena. Don't go anywhere. More action coming up next on Hockey Night in Utah.
I'm Michael Carconi. You're listening to Utah Mammoth Hockey.
College students, this one's for you. The Utah Mammoth and Moxie have teamed up to get you to a Mammoth game for just $15. Plus, you get a hot dog and a water. Download the Utah Mammoth app, turn on notifications, and be the first to know when tickets drop all season long.
Looking for the perfect treat? Dive into True Fruit, where nature's fruit meets rich, indulgent chocolate. True Fruit's fresh fruit is hyper-chilled to lock in flavor and nutrition. With clean ingredients you can feel good about. Whether you're craving strawberries, cherries, or blueberries, True Fruit is your go-to snack. Find True Fruit in the freezer aisle, wherever you shop for your groceries. True Fruit. Indulge in the best of nature.
Utah, let's keep winning. On the court, on the ice, and in your business. Les Olson IT is your local partner for technology that never quits. From managed IT and cloud solutions to printers, copiers, security cameras, and alarms, Les Olson IT has got you covered. Celebrating 10 years in IT, backed by 70 years of trusted business experience. Les Olson IT, keeping Utah connected, secure, and ready to win.
Les Olson IT.
Be the first in line for the future of Utah hockey. Place your Mammoth deposit today and lock in priority access to tickets, merch, and more. Don't wait. The Ice Age is here, and seats are going fast. Utah, secure your spot now at UtahMammoth.com.
No score. First period action from Toronto. Utah has not allowed a first period goal now in 3+ road games since Minnesota scored in that second game of the road trip a couple weeks ago. Mike, we talked about the Gunther Cooley-Peterka line, maybe a slower game in Buffalo. They're out attempting Toronto 4-1, out shooting them 3-1 so far in this one.
Yeah, and they're able to get up the ice in a hurry. The question is, can they protect the puck in the offensive zone, and can they manufacture some of those grittier scoring opportunities as opposed to chasing everybody around the ice? Max Domi, son of Ty Domi, a Maple Leaf legend. Max has it back of goal in the Utah end. He goes low to high for Ekman Larsson. Ekman Larsson shoots and misses everything. Cooley gobbles up the rebound. Utah looks to run. And what I meant by that earlier, this Cooley-Gunther-Peterka line, they rush up the ice. They a lot of times try to make a play, and sometimes it's not there. And instead of trying to make some of these skilled plays, it might behoove them better to hold the puck and play a little simpler, more meat and potatoes style hockey every once in a while. You don't want to take away their speed, but they have so much skill that those chances are going to come if they can just possess the puck a little bit more in the offensive zone. This comes all the way down. And will it be icing? No. Keller the first one there. He sets up Barrett Hayden in the Toronto end. Hayden gets leg locked up against the glass, being shoved against the boards. And then it's cushioned down by Carlo, and this was played by a high stick. One of the Mammoth got a piece of it, apparently. 8:26 to go in the first period. Adrian, what do you think about that? This Cooley-Peterka-Gunther line possessing the puck a little bit as opposed to trying to make as many of these skilled plays.
Well, you talked about it yesterday on your Mike's Morning After for Mammoth Daily as you were leaving Buffalo, Mike. Just the simpler they are, the more productive that they can be just by simplifying really everything possible, right?
Sergachev gets to it after a face-off win and shoots. He just missed. Rebound there for Schmaltz. Sergachev unloads again and missed high. Keller tried to center but swung and missed. Sergachev, that was Schmaltz rather, who stole the puck. Keller forced to the corner by Carlo. Carlo acquired via trade from Boston at the deadline last year. This is flipped ahead for Austin Matthews. Sergachev back to Markham here in the Utah end. Sergachev knocks down the pass. Matthews still on it. Matthews banged up last year. Had to go over to Germany to one point for a second opinion on a lingering health issue. Only played in 67 games. This is Dakota Mermis in the offensive zone for the Maple Leafs. Simashev goes jousting with Matthew Nyes in the corner. Simashev wins that round. And this gets clanged off the glass and out as the Mammoth make a full change here. 5 fresh tires on the ice. Philip Myers for Mermis. And then Myers gets it out to center. Mermis lost the handle. Brandon Tanev walks his way in. Tanev checked by Tavares, who streaks ahead. John Tavares lays it back for Nicholas Robertson on the near side. And then Yamamoto took a high stick, and now a penalty is called. We'll get a high sticking penalty against Toronto. And I believe they'll get John Tavares here. Kyler Yamamoto drew the penalty. You could see his head snap back when he took the twig to the chops.
Minor penalty for high sticking.
Just a minor penalty given to the Maple Leafs with 7:04 to go in the first period. Utah on the Rio Tinto power play for the first time here tonight. Rio Tinto, official partner of the Utah Mammoth. Ooh, that might have been Yamamoto's own stick that came up. Adrian, is that what you saw on the replay there on the TV side?
Yeah, it looked like it from that angle that was straight away, and I think Toronto head coach Craig Berube has a couple questions about the call. I'm sure his video room got into the IFB on the Toronto bench and was telling the coaches that was not a high stick.
Yeah, that looked like Tavares lifted the stick and Yamamoto hit himself in the face. So it's a Utah power play. Cooley across. Sergachev left point. And a pass deflects into the netting out of play. 15 seconds gone by in the power play. Utah 0 for 2 on the man advantage last night against Buffalo. But Adrian, how good were they on the power play? That maybe was the best we've seen this special teams unit.
I think Buffalo got the puck out maybe 3 times during the 4 minutes there, Mike. And Utah's top unit really controlled the first minute or so. Buffalo got an early clear on that second one, but Utah really possessed the puck. 6 power play shots on those 2 chances.
Cleared down by the Maple Leafs after the draw, so Utah will have to come all the way back up the ice. Mammoth are 0 for in their last 3 games on the power play, 0 for their last 7, despite the fact they've had some good chances. Gunther settles things down on the near side hash marks. And then Clayton Keller to the bumper spot for Schmaltz across Gunther. One-timer blocked by Carlo and hammered down the ice by the Leafs. Toronto has a decent penalty kill to start this year. 12th in the NHL, entering tonight just over 80%. Power play is halfway through. 0-0 game. Gunther angles it back. It's reeled in by Clayton Keller. Utah is spacing a little off here. Keller pirouettes on the near side. Schmaltz in tight, shoots. Save made by Stolarz. Rebound taken by Waugh. And Scott Lawton skates it to center. Scott Lawton killing some time for the Maple Leafs as Utah is able to get it back. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Second unit coming over the boards. Utah's second unit really struggled last year. Mammoth were a good power play team a year ago as Yamamoto tries to gain the line 1-on-5. That didn't work. Or 1-on-4, I should say. 20 seconds left after another clearance by the Leafs. Still a 0-0 game. J.J. Peterka to the far side for Carcone. Puck rides the rail, and then Hayden couldn't handle it. It's a 2-on-1 back up the ice. Joshua and Lorentz. Lorentz drags and shoots, and that was erased by Nate Schmidt. Vanacek got bowled into by Dakota Joshua, but we continue on. And we are back to 5-on-5 as Tavares comes out of the box. Nylander across the line, sets up Tavares, slaps one off the pads of Vanacek. Peterka looks up ice the other way. And the 23-year-old German flips this in deep on the forecheck. Almost took down Morgan Riley. Nylander sharply ahead for Tavares and now Riley. This game feels like it's opening up a little bit. Floated towards the Utah net. McBain there to guide it up the wall, and it's gathered in by Lawson Krause. Brandon Tanev grinds to a halt on the far wing. Gets checked there by Myers, and Utah has to regroup at center. 4:15 to go in the first. 0-0 the score. Mammoth are 0 for 1 on the power play to start out. Stolars hard around the boards as you heard the call from his defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson trying to instruct his goaltender. Sent right back in around the glass here in the Toronto zone. Utah just playing a dump and chase game right now. This Toronto team has put up a lot of goals. They've given up a lot of goals this year. Dakota Joshua wedged off the disc there behind the Utah net. Loose deep in the Utah zone. Ole Mata is engaged with Dakota Joshua. Marino steps into support. Could not find the escape valve. This comes to the line where it's held in by Ekman-Larsson. Marino and Mata get to work again. Sent low to high. McCabe left point for the Maple Leafs. Matthias Michelli dances in. Backdoor shot just goes wide. That was from Morgan Riley on the right circle. Great setup by Matthias Michelli. Utah gets to a loose puck. That is Clayton Keller with the number 9 jersey tucked into his pants. Both teams make some switches as the Mammoth slow things down. I said that too soon because racing ahead is Logan Cooley. He turns it over to Matthew Nyes. Austin Matthews guides this up the near side wall. Puck in the Mammoth zone again. Nylander steals. His pass broken up. It comes back to Myers. Pass ends up below the goal line in the Utah end. Sent behind the net by Austin Matthews. Nylander fending off Sergachev. And then wheeled back around the loop here onto the near side. Nate Schmidt checks his rearview mirrors and locates Sergachev. Mammoth are able to get it as far as center, and it's J.J. Peterka looking to dance his way in. Peterka tied up nicely, and the Maple Leafs have possession. Good defending there between Dakota Mermis and Brandon Carlo. 2:20 remaining in the first period. Shots are just 6-4 in favor of Utah. Just a moment ago on a John Tavares shot. That was Toronto's first shot in almost 12 minutes here in the first. They've strung a couple good shifts together. Let's see what Utah's fourth line can do. Pass out of the reach of Ian Cole, and that's trouble. Numbers ahead for Toronto. McMahon with Tavares. McMahon shoots, and a save made by Vanacek at point-blank range. Back the other way. Utah has numbers. Stenlund with a pass behind Yamamoto. The only man back was Jake McCabe. Utah had 3 guys coming up the ice, and Tanev, Stenlund, and Yamamoto couldn't get on the same page. That could have been a 3-on-1. It ended up being closer to an offsides whistle. Steven Lorentz rumbles in across the blue line. Riley skates past Krause. One-time look for Domi, and he missed the cage. Feels like the Maple Leafs have had the better looks here tonight, but they've missed the net a handful of times. Puck in front from Krause, and Carcone scores! Welcome back home for Lawson Krause and Michael Carcone. The Ajax, Ontario native puts Utah ahead 1-0 late in the first. Krause had the forecheck, got the puck in deep, and set up Carcone from below the goal line. And Michael Carcone gets his 3rd goal of the year. But it started with the forecheck of Lawson Krause. He had both Carcone and McBain coming to the net, and it was Carcone who flipped it just over the right shoulder, the blocker side of Anthony Stolars. 1:11 remaining in the first period, and Utah is out to a 1-0 start, and this is now 9 straight games for Toronto in which they have trailed at some point. Nick Schmaltz ahead across the line as we return to play. Down the middle, Simashev shoots off the glove of Stolars. Dmitry Simashev still looking for his first NHL goal. Puck on the near side, taken by Matthew Nyes. And sent in deep. 45 seconds left here in the first period. Carcone has scored in each of his last 2 games against Toronto. Mentioned that the Maple Leafs have now trailed at some point in 9 straight games. They have now allowed the first goal in 7 straight games. Closing seconds here of period number 1. Great forecheck by Utah's associate captain Lawson Krause sets up Carcone for the game's first tally. After a stick battle at the Toronto line, Dakota Joshua takes it back the other way towards the net off the skates of Ian Cole. Carcone steers a puck away from the net mouth. It's lost in the skates of Schmidt. He had a little trouble on this near side, but the period comes to an end with Utah in front after a goal from an Ontario native. It was one Ontario native to another. Mount Bridges to Ajax. 1-0. Carcone has Utah in front here on Hockey Night in Utah.
Hi, Andrew, it's Ringy. You're listening Utah Mammoth Hockey.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen. Whether you're at work, at the gym, or stuck in traffic, the NHL app puts you right in the action all season long. Every team, every game, everywhere you go. Download the NHL app and never miss a moment.
For more than a century and through 4 generations, Far Better Ice Cream has been bringing families together. A true Utah legend, Far Better Ice Cream can be found in your local grocery store or favorite restaurant. From classic flavors that have stood the test of time to new creations that push the boundaries of deliciousness, Far's Ice Cream has something for every taste and every occasion. Visit your local grocery store and grab your favorite Far's flavors. Remember, Far Better Ice Cream. Only the best for family and friends.
Did you know that at Chevron, you can fuel up on unbeatable mileage and savings? With Chevron Rewards, you'll get 25 cents off per gallon on your next 5 visits. All you have to do is download the Chevron app and join to start saving on fuel. Then you can keep fueling up on other things like adventure, memories, vacations, daycations, quality time, and so many other possibilities. Head to your nearest Chevron station to fuel up and get rewarded today. Terms apply. See ChevronTexcoRewards.com for more details.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What? You have a brother. $100 bill just like you.
Hey, I'm Ben.
What? We just got him for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $100 cash bonus when they open a checking account or $50 when they open a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The power of we believes in you. It advocates for you. It completes your circle. It makes sure you have the strongest circle possible. And with Intermountain Health in yours, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Clayton Keller fires a frozen rope. This is the Hockey Night in Utah. First intermission report. Follow the leader. Here's Adrian Denny.
Back with you inside our Mountain Blue Studios, where your Utah Mammoth lead the Toronto Maple Leafs 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Michael Carcone from Lawson Krause with 1:11 left to go in the first. Carcone getting a goal in his second straight game against Toronto. He was raised about a half hour away from downtown Toronto in Ajax, Ontario. Lawson Krause, an Ontario native as well, as he found Carcone right out in front. Lawson Krause was chasing down a puck that was cleared out of the zone by Jack McBain. Toronto defenseman Brandon Carlo came back to get it and tried to backhand it D to his partner Morgan Riley, but Krause kept that stick down, stayed with it, chased it behind the net, and found Carcone out in front. And Utah's got that 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of play, holding the Maple Leafs to just 5 shots in that first period after Utah held Buffalo to just 18 shots in the contest yesterday, including just 11 shots in the final 2 periods. So Utah doing a good job keeping the opposition away from their goaltender. Vitek Vanacek did make some nice saves there during that first period for Utah on the back-to-back. He is starting for Karel Vejmelka. So Utah now 15 first-period goals this year. That's tied for most in the National Hockey League. 7th straight game they do not trail after one period. They've scored the first goal in 6 of their last 7. Toronto has allowed the first goal in 7 straight games. As I said, kind of a low event first period there. Utah had a stretch of 7 minutes and 2 seconds without a shot on goal. Toronto had almost 12 minutes without a shot on goal in that opening frame. So Utah has the 1-0 lead in Toronto. Michael Carconi from Lawson Krause. Let's go back to Toronto right now, where Mike Folta is standing by with the Sheriff, number 67, Lawson Krause.
Here with Lawson Krause after period 1. Lawson, second time talking to you today. At what point did you know that last play was going to be a scoring chance for you guys?
Well, I think that's like our identity as a line. When we chip pucks out, even when the D-men are skating back, we just get on them as much as we can. And obviously a great late puck by Boehner, and I had a good jump on the D, and a great spot by Cars.
You mentioned identity. That goal right there felt like embodied what you guys are all about, the forecheck, but also going right to the net. Is that kind of a staple goal for you three?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's nice to see one finally going for our group here.
How do you feel like this group responded in period 1 after the back-to-back and then coming up against a Toronto team with a lot of skill?
Yeah, you know what? I think we got a lot more in the tank, obviously, back-to-back, but there's no excuses. I think we didn't really take care of the puck well enough in that period. Felt like the ice was kind of tipped in their favor a little bit, so a little bit of a wake-up call. Nice to be up 1, but we got much better in the second.
Good luck in the second, Lawson.
Thanks.
So Lawson Krause getting that assist and giving Utah 1-0 first period lead. We didn't see a goal yesterday in the game until 3:58 into the third period when Nick Schmaltz made it 1-0. We'll come back, recap more of that opening frame, a 1-goal lead for the Mammoth in Canada on a Wednesday night right here on Hockey Night in Utah.
It all starts here. The Salt Lake City Stars, the official Utah Jazz affiliate, with a new look that brings mountain basketball to the fans. You can witness exciting, fast-paced games and be part of an electric atmosphere that fans of all ages can enjoy, with tickets starting at $10. Don't miss the chance to see up-and-coming talent of the next generation. Get your tickets today at slcstars.com. Basketball starts here.
Hurt in a car wreck, dog bite, slip and fall. Just call Quick Swap. One call, that's all.
After a car wreck, dealing with big insurance companies on your own can hurt your case. One call, that's all means we take care of everything. From dealing with insurance companies to helping you find doctors and repair shops, we're here to guide you from start to finish. Call Craig Swap & Associates today at 801-444-4444.
One call, that's all.
Mammoth fans, visit your local Utah Bullfrog Spas factory store today to receive up to 50% off of a Bullfrog Spas hot tub or swim spa, including refurbished and scratch and dent. Bullfrog Spas feature the patented jetpack therapy system, allowing jetpacks to be interchangeable and customizable for the perfect massage and relaxation. Hurry, inventory is limited. Bullfrog Spas, a Utah company. Peaceful body, peaceful mind, peaceful home.
Select Health, how can we help?
Representative.
I'm ready to answer any questions you have.
Representative.
I'm Sam.
Representative.
It sounds like you said representative. One moment. Select Health, how can we help?
Finally. Hi, I have a question on copays.
I can help with that.
Real people, real answers in real time. Select Health, insurance made simple. Learn more at selecthealth.org.
Breaking down the first 20.
Listen to Utah.
Getting you ready for period 2.
We're used to seeing it.
Hockey Night in Utah rolls on. Here's AD, Adrian Denny.
Adrian Denny back with you in our Mountain Blue Studios. 1-0 Utah after 20 on a goal from Michael Carconi, who we will hear with in just a minute with our own Sarah Merrifield. The Mammoth and the University of Utah Health are teaming up to honor the everyday heroes in our healthcare community. Throughout the season, the Mammoth and University of Utah Health recognize 3 outstanding healthcare workers. Each honoree will receive a grant and a gift totaling $500, a custom hockey item, and tickets to a game where they will be honored in front of all of the fans. Do you know a healthcare hero who deserves the spotlight? Nominate them today. by visiting NHL.com/Utah and visiting the community page. Let's show our appreciation for those who make a difference every day. Well, our lock of the night was what one of 5 Utah forwards from Ontario was going to score the first goal for Utah against the Maple Leafs tonight. 55.1% of you on Twitter said Barrett Hayton. 22.4% Lawson Krause. 12.2% of you had Michael Carcone, including Alex, who says, I knew I was on to something voting Carcone. You can check in with me all night long on Twitter at 801 Adrian Denny on Twitter on X. Congrats, Alex. Congrats, Mike Carcone. He's with our own Sarah Merrifield.
I think this might be one of those situations where the numbers on the score sheet might not always reflect the effort you guys on your line are putting in, but that one probably had to feel pretty good to put that one in the back of the net.
Yeah, I don't think it was our best period, but sometimes that's how it goes. And kudos to Boehner being good on the wall and Krauser hunting the D, making a good play. So I just had to go to the net.
In terms of the things you guys wanted to do in terms of starting fast, starting strong, it was a better first start for you guys compared to yesterday. What did you see from that period?
Yeah, I think they put us on our heels a little bit. I think we got to get behind their D and just play in their end a little bit more. And if we do that, we're gonna put them on their heels.
Good goal. Best of luck in the next 2.
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you very much, Sarah Merrifield. And number 53, Michael Carcone of Ajax, Ontario. So Utah's got that 1-0 lead. And, Mike said it wasn't our best period, but, process pays off, folks. His line with him, Jack McBain, and Lawson Krause out-attempted Buffalo 13-3 and outshot them 4-1 yesterday in Buffalo. Big start to this second period coming up. Utah on Sunday. In that 1-1 game, allowed a goal 2:47 into the second to Tampa Bay. They took a 2-1 lead. Then you remember last Tuesday in Edmonton, Oilers got within 22 seconds into the second and tied it 3:13 into the second. So a big first 5 minutes of the second period for the Mammoth with a 1-0 lead at the Toronto Maple Leafs. When we come back, Mike Folta's first period highlights. More Michael Carcone and Lawson Krause rolling on right here. After 20 in Toronto, the Mammoth up by a count of 1-0 right here on Hockey Night in Utah.
Mammoth Nation, it's Mike Fulton. Join me and Nasher, Tyson Nash.
Talk about a pair of coconuts.
As we chop it up on Nashcast.
Here we go.
Here we go. Ding, ding. Join us for great stories, Nash Crashers, and plenty of laughs. New episodes drop Wednesdays at 8 on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Bring the thunder.
There's a new team in town. Mark Miller Subaru and the Utah Jazz. We're joining forces to champion Utah's future game changers. By donating school supplies and creating innovative programs, we're giving Utah kids the advantage.
Because when the kids win, we all win.
Let's do this, Utah.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Mammoth, Utes Athletics, Utah Grizzlies, and the Salt Lake Bees. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Helping your money do more means making sure you get the most out of every dollar. That's why, for a limited time, when you open a new America First Visa credit card and spend $3,000 within 90 days, we'll give you $300. That's like getting a 10% discount on everything you pay for with your card. Before you spend another cent, head to AmericaFirst.com and apply for your low-rate Visa credit card today. Membership eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions apply. Subject to additional criteria. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Utah putting on a show.
Period 1 highlights.
A big hit delivered up ahead. It's Krause on a breakaway. Krause in the clear. Score! Feels like the Maple Leafs have had the better looks here tonight, but they've missed the net a handful of times. Puck in front from Krause and Carcone scores! Welcome back home for Lawson Krause and Michael Carcone.
There is our lone goal of that opening period, scored late by Utah. It was chipped ahead by Jack McBain. Lawson Krause came up and ripped it away from Brandon Carlo, went behind the net, fed it to Carcone, who buried it. No assist there for Jack McBain, but he got that play started, chipping it up ahead. Utah gets the goal with 1:11 left to go in that first period. Utah had one power play in that frame. John Tavares got whistled for high sticking, but his stick just kind of got tangled up underneath the Kyler Yamamoto's and pushed Kyler's up, and Kyler was high sticked by his own stick. So Tavares got the penalty. Utah went to the power play. They did not score on that power play situation. It was a Utah power play that got one shot on that one situation. They did not go shorthanded in the period. They went shorthanded just twice last night in Buffalo, and both situations came in that first period. So Carcone gets the goal, and we talked about the big game his line had last night. Well, Mike last night had 3 shots and 4 hits. Gets a big goal here. Lawson Krause now has 2 points in his last 3 games. A 1-0 lead going to the second. Again, big first 5 minutes when Mike Folta rejoins you for the middle frame right here on Hockey Night in Utah.
Did you know that at Chevron, you can fuel up on unbeatable mileage and savings? With Chevron Rewards, you'll get 25 cents off per gallon on your next 5 visits. All you have to do is download the Chevron app and join to start saving on fuel. Then you can keep fueling up on other things like adventure, memories, vacations, daycations, quality time, and so many other possibilities. Head to your nearest Chevron station to fuel up and get rewarded today. Terms apply. See ChevronTexcoRewards.com for more details.
Utah Mammoth are here for an exciting season. And Trucordia, the group name for a nationwide insurance brokerage based here in Utah, is proud to be a founding partner. The Trucordia companies deliver insurance solutions to help you protect what matters most. Home plus auto, employee benefits, construction, cyber. Trucordia blocks risks to help you ensure your goals. Learn more at Trucordia, spelled TRUCORDIA.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone, so we built the vehicles of the future for everyone. Command the road with America's best-selling trucks for 46 years and counting, Ford F-Series. Gear up and head out in an all-wheel drive Ford SUV, perfect for the mountain, city, and everywhere in between. Or check out Ford's adventurous new lineup like Bronco, Bronco Sport, and Maverick. Inventory has arrived. Head to your local Ford stores today for big cash back, low APR, and great lease offers based on 1977 to 2022 CY total sales.
Utah, let's keep winning. On the court, on the ice, and in your business. Les Olson IT is your local partner for technology that never quits. From managed IT and cloud solutions to printers, copiers, security cameras, and alarms, Les Olson IT has got you covered. Celebrating 10 years in IT, backed by 70 years of trusted business experience. Les Olson IT, keeping Utah connected, secure, and ready to win.
Les Olson IT.
Centers. Hockey comes alive. Only Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. It's time for the middle frame.
Putting his body on the line.
Period 2 begins now.
Rally towels in the air. Delta Center is alive.
Here's Mike Folta.
Storming back to Scotiabank Arena for period 2 on Hockey Night in Utah, where the Mammoth lead the Toronto Maple Leafs 1-0. Entering the second, there goes Nick Schmaltz making his way down the right wing. Puck in behind the Toronto net. Up top, slap shot is absorbed by Anthony Stolarz, a 31-year-old from Edison, New Jersey, who signed a 4-year, $15 million extension back in September. That kicks in next year. Anthony Woll has been injured for the Maple Leafs, and so it's mostly been Stolarz's net. He did play a bit in the playoffs for the Leafs last year and was very good in said playoffs. But they like Woll. It's been a pretty good tandem 1A, 1B type situation here in Toronto with Stolarz the 1B. Barrett Hayden able to keep this puck in the offensive zone, sent in deep for Nick Schmaltz. Schmaltz with the puck on his backhand. Twists it along. Goes back into the trapezoid. Sent to the near boards. Cut off by Matthew Nyes. And Nyes goes tape to tape for William Nylander. Good play by Simashev to steal it back. J.J. Peterka wants to run. Peterka whips one high and wide of the glove of Anthony Stolarz. John Tavares meanders his way in across the line. Centering pass is steered aside by Simashev. Below the goal line in the Utah zone. A minute into period number 2. Simashev in his first NHL season battling with the experienced John Tavares in NHL campaign number 17. Stick save by Vanacek, and he controlled that rebound beautifully to the corner. Tavares with 500 NHL goals sets up Brandon Carlo, who wrists one high and wide. Toronto again missing the net. That's been a theme early in this game. Morgan Riley, Maple Leafs top defenseman, sends one towards the net. Bobby McMahon carries it along before he's bumped from behind by Simashev and then taken down. Mammoth are able to get out of their own zone, but only momentarily as Robertson is offsides. And we stop the action. Not quite 2 minutes into period number 2. Mammoth leading 1-0. The Utah Mammoth Amateur Hockey Association would like to thank our sponsors, America First Credit Union, University of Utah Health, and Superior Water and Air. We thank you for your tremendous support of our youth hockey program. Lawson Krause and Dakota Joshua are having a little chat at this neutral zone faceoff. Those are 2 big customers. And it looks like we're sticking to hockey with no fisticuffs here. Sent all the way down, but it comes into Stolarz, and so he'll stop play. And because this was sent all the way down the ice, the Maple Leafs are not allowed to change. That's what happens when you dump the puck in, and the goaltender stops it. The defending team not allowed to change, so Jack McBain will take this offensive zone draw. This is the line that created Utah's goal back in the first period. McBain had the nice play to get the puck out of the zone. He did not get an assist, unfortunately. Krause did when he set up Carcone on Utah's only goal. Carcone wraps one around, sends it through the blue paint. Comes back to the near side. Jack McBain waiting for it. His father, Andrew, played over 600 games in the NHL, was originally an 8th overall pick by the Winnipeg Jets. Not these Winnipeg Jets, those Winnipeg Jets back in the day that eventually became the Arizona Coyotes. This is sent all the way down, and icing is called against the Maple Leafs. Leafs last year, one of the most impressive teams in the NHL. They finished first in the Atlantic Division, a whopping 108 points. They were 3 full games ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who finished in second. Toronto 4th in the entire league in terms of points. As we have trouble with this face-off, we'll try again. The Maple Leafs made it to the second round. It's their second time making it to the second round since 2004. And they were up 2-0 in a series against the Florida Panthers when, well, as Leaf fans will tell you, the same old story. They gave up the series lead and eventually fought back to force a Game 7, which they then promptly lost 6-1 to the eventual Stanley Cup champs. Pass in front is blocked by Nate Schmidt. Utah defending down to our right. Barrett Hayden walling off his old teammate Matias Michelli. Puck sits off the side of the Utah cage. Nick Schmaltz lobs this through the middle of the ice. Clayton Keller gloves it down, but it's taken back in by Nicholas Waugh. Waugh, 28-year-old Quebec native, gets this in deep. Marino around the wall for Stenlund. Kevin Stenlund this way for Nate Schmidt. Utah having trouble connecting some passes. You heard from Lawson Krause in our walk-off interview after the first period that Utah needs to do a better job of protecting the puck and prizing the puck as a worthy possession instead of being careless with it like they were in the first. Riley from the center blue finds Max Domi. Sent across for Morgan Riley. He steps in, his pass deflected, and comes to the near side. Utah doing a pretty good job of defending the interior of their own zone so far. John Marino takes the hit, tried to clear, could not. This goes off the skate of Nate Schmidt as he sets up his D partner Marino. This pairing has been really good for the Mammoth. They were on the ice for Utah's goal back in the first. Nice back check there by Kevin Stenlund to win the puck back, but just like that, Morgan Riley reloads for the Maple Leafs and sends this back in behind Vitek Vanacek. who has stopped all 8 Toronto shots that have come his way. Nylander, pass across to Jake McCabe, and that hopped way up off of McCabe's stick. And 3 rows deep into section 104. 4 minutes into period number 2. 1-0 is our score. Adrian, who ended up winning lock of the night tonight?
Well, as you look at it, Mike, just over 10% of our fans on Twitter had Michael Carcone, and Alex is taking full credit for it. He said he knew he was onto something voting for Michael Carcone.
Well, good job, Alex.
Also, Rob says he was part of the 10+% voting for Michael Carcone. So the folks are coming out to take credit.
Now, Rob, I don't know. Alex, I trust. Rob, who knows? Could just be jumping on the Carcone bandwagon, as we all are across Mammoth Nation here tonight. 3 goals on the year for Carcone. Last season with Utah, he had 7. The year before that, he had 21. With the Arizona Coyotes, that seemed like it was maybe the exception to the rule as Tavares makes his way in. Tavares cutting back and forth, centers the puck, bouncing around, right in front, they score! Nylander knocks one in, and we're tied at 1. Mammoth couldn't find a bouncing puck in front of Vanacek, and William Nylander extends his point streak to 8 games. He gets his 6th goal of the year. He was one of the architects of Toronto's comeback on Monday night against Pittsburgh, had 3 points in that game, 2 goals in that contest. Tavares did well to get a bouncing puck to the front, and it was William Nylander shelving it over the glove of Vitek Vanacek. Not quite 5 minutes into this second frame. And William Nylander has tied us back up at 1. Season ago, Nylander had 45 goals. That was a career high for the 29-year-old Alberta native. Born in Alberta, William Nylander, but of Swedish descent. Lawson Krause in the offensive zone to Ian Cole, who shoots off a leg. Lands down for Carcone in the corner. And eventually stolen back by Nylander and the Maple Leafs. Out ahead, Bobby McMahon one-on-one with Ole Mata. Mata forces him wide. McMahon behind the Utah net. Mermis sets up Philip Myers. Wrist shot blocked out of play. Lawson Krause gallantly stepped in front of that Myers drive. 14:37 to go in period number 2. Tied at 1 after the goal from William Nylander, who entering tonight tied for 6th in league scoring. Had 18 points coming in. Tied with Nick Schmaltz for 6th in league scoring, but Willie Stiles has been on a heater recently. Now has 15 points in his last 8 games. He's been in and out of the lineup a little bit, dealing with a lower body injury. He has points in every Maple Leaf game but 1 that he's played in so far this year. Matthew Nyes sets up Austin Matthews. Nyes gets it back in across the line. Matthews, top of the right circle. One-timer fought off by Vanacek. Nate Schmidt on the loose puck recovery. And now Barrett Hayton, best he can do is angle it off the boards about a foot deep into the center zone. Utah on some of these clearances is only getting this a couple of yards past the blue line. And then quickly Toronto's making their way back in. Utah could use an extended shift here on the offensive end. Second periods have not been very good for Utah so far this season. They were clean the other night against Buffalo, but the second frame, for whatever reason, has been by far Utah's worst this season. Dmitry Simashev carries the puck in deep and then gets slammed against the glass in the offensive zone. Yamamoto keeps it moving. Puck on the near side as Simashev activates once again. It gets by him and comes out to center where Sergachev claims it. We're 6.5 minutes into the second, tied at 1. Goals from Carcone and Nylander. Yamamoto hops into the offensive zone. Pass across, shot on by Stenlund, and Stolarz extinguishes things and gets a whistle and a stoppage. 13:20 to go here in the second period, and Toronto's William Nylander has tied us at 1 at Scotiabank Arena. Back in a moment on Hockey Night in Utah.
I'm Brandon Tanev. You're listening to Utah Mammoth Hockey.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It all starts here. The Salt Lake City Stars, the official Utah Jazz affiliate, with a new look that brings mountain basketball to the fans. You can witness exciting, fast-paced games and be part of an electric atmosphere that fans of all ages can enjoy, with tickets starting at $10. Don't miss the chance to see up-and-coming talent of the next generation. Get your tickets today at slcstars.com. Basketball starts here.
Step into virtual reality with Nightingale College and learn the innovative world of nursing. Nightingale offers 100% online nursing classes combined with on-ground field experience to elevate your education. Great career opportunities are available for bachelor-prepared nurses in as few as 32 months with no waiting lists. Innovative learning on your own time. Become a Nightingale nurse. Visit us at nightingale.edu. Now accepting applications along the Wasatch Front for our upcoming spring semester.
It's exciting. Spent my whole career with those guys, so it's going to be fun playing against some of my old teammates. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
That was Matias Michelli talking about playing against his old team, Utah, where Michelli was a season ago, and also played with a lot of these guys in Arizona. Seeing Matias make some nice plays so far early in this game. He was a healthy scratch in Toronto's last win. First time he had been health bombed this year by Craig Berube. Puck back in the Maple Leaf zone. Tied at 1:13 to go in the second period. Gunther steals it. Gunther fires up high, and that goes over the crossbar. Cooley shuffles it along. This gets filtered out, and John Marino has to quickly hurry back. Scott Lawton comes barreling in, gets this puck down below the goal line in the Utah zone. Hard off the boards, out to center for Peterka. Gunther accelerates in with Cooley, and they blow this play dead for an offsides whistle. 12:48 to go in the second, tied at 1. That last goal that William Nylander scored was scored during a delayed penalty. Adrian Denny's watching back in our Mountain Blue studios. Adrian, what happened on that delayed call? I missed it up here.
Yeah, it was behind the play, Mike. Didn't see it on any of our monitors other than was waiting for that play to end. The referee had his arm up for a while, and Nylander got the puck to go in before we needed to sort it out.
Seeing the replay, it looked like Stolarz was kind of late going off to the bench, so I don't think that sixth man really impacted the play. And again, didn't notice it from up here. John Tavares just did well to get that puck to a dangerous area, and Nylander bagged it. Ian Cole in the offensive zone for Utah sends this around for Jack McBain, a former Canadian Olympian. Taken down by Tavares on the near side. And it's eventually chopped to center by the Maple Leafs. Tavares drops it back, stolen by Carcone. Not very many chances both ways in this game. It has been a low-event contest so far. We haven't lacked for passion or intensity, but we've lacked for scoring chances, which is not something that we said last night in what was only a 2-1 game, but Utah had 35 shots on Buffalo and was really pouring it on Alex Lyon, who put on one of the better goaltending shows that we have seen so far this season by an opposing netminder. In steps Nylander. And then Matthew Nyes, a toe drag move. Nyes canceled out by two Mammoth, Mata and Hayden. Nylander, like a dog on a bone, trying to win that puck back. It's forked along by Ole Mata. Cut off on the far side by Toronto. And stepping to it is Jake McCabe on the near wing. Down low in the Utah end, Mata around his own net. Nick Schmaltz gets this to center, and Ekman Larsson has it back. William Nylander got some testy comments from Anthony Stolarz, his goaltender, earlier this year when there's a slap shot from Matthews, and he scores. Matias Michelli set him up, and Toronto's captain puts the Maple Leafs in front Matthews gets the goal. A one-time laser beam past Vitek Vanacek. 11:04 to go in the second period, and the Maple Leafs have scored a pair of goals in the second to take the lead. Michelli with a backhand pass out of the corner, put it right into the wheelhouse of Austin Matthews, who can score from anywhere, and he can certainly score from inside the faceoff dot like he did right there with Keller directly in front of him. Back-to-back goals by the Maple Leafs, 2 goals in a span of just over 4 minutes. And now Toronto is doing in the second period what they did to Pittsburgh back in the third period a couple nights ago. Austin Matthews gets his team-leading 8th goal of the season. Brandon Tanev took a shot up high in the head there for Brandon Carlo. We continue on. Puck in the offensive zone for Utah. Maple Leafs trying to break the pressure. Utah's forecheck has created its only goal so far. Tanev makes a nice steal on this near wing, carries it down the boards, hits Stenlund. Kevin Stenlund in the shift following Toronto's second goal. Plays it up the wall. A hit delivered by Brandon Tanev on Michelli. Straight away, Yamamoto across. One-timer Sergachev, and that one missed on the stick side. Simashev rushes to the rebound. It comes around to Sergachev right point. He sends it back to the corner. And Dakota Joshua was there to help this get out to center along with Nick Waugh. Puck back in the Utah end. Approaching the halfway mark of regulation with Utah trailing 2-1 here on the road. Game 2 of a road trip. Gunther feeds this down to the corner as Cooley rides his man up against the glass. Stolen by Austin Matthews. And sent to neutral ice. Mentioned that Matthews was banged up last year as an offside whistle blows with 9:44 to go in the second. Matthews not 100% last year, but feeling no ill effects here in early November. 2-1. Matthews has put Toronto in front at Scotiabank Arena.
I'm Nick Schmaltz. You are listening to Utah Mammoth Hockey.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Just top.
The power of we connects you. It looks after you. It completes your circle. And with Intermountain Health as a partner in yours, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. Because the stronger your circle, the healthier your life will be. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You have a brother. $100 bill just like you.
Hey, I'm Ben.
What?
We just got him for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $100 cash bonus when they open a checking account or $50 when they open a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Utah Mammoth and Smiths are teaming up to get you to a game. With qualified purchases, score single goal view tickets, a hot dog, and water included for just $15. Download the Utah Mammoth app, turn on notifications, and be the first to know when tickets drop all season long.
Leafs get 2 goals in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. They've all of a sudden got a 2-1 lead on Utah, Mike. Both these teams have struggled in the second periods. Toronto, a -9 goal differential, worst in the league. Utah is now -7, giving up those 2 goals. But the Leafs have to be much happier with this second period. They're the second heaviest team in the NHL. Lay down the second most hits. They had just 4 in the first, 4 already here in the second, out shooting Utah 9-3 en route to those 2 goals.
Hasn't felt like an overly physical game, but you can feel, Adrian, that Toronto is heavier. But here comes Peterka moving in, backdoor. Cooley banned on it. Stolar stops it. There's a crowd following. One of the Mammoth is on his skates, now getting back to his skates. I believe that's Simashev or Marino. It's John Marino who was mobbed, but a great chance, a 2-on-1 for Peterka and Cooley. JJ slid over a beautiful pass, and Cooley just couldn't get a clean piece of it. It kind of hopped up on him.
24, 2-minute minor, roughing.
Oh, and a gift. A gift from the hockey gods here in hockey's capital. A roughing call. Ooh, yeah. No doubt about that one on Scott Lawton. He just cross-checked John Marino straight in the jaw. And Utah's going to the power play down 2-1 with 9:25 left here in the second period. That was after the whistle, and that was why John Marino was slow getting back to his skates, because he took a shot up high from Scott Lawton. After the faceoff, the puck is stuck on the near side wall. Utah trying to free it up, and the Maple Leafs get this as far as the Mammoth blue line. Well, now would be a great time for Utah's power play to awake. Again, they created some excellent chances last night in Buffalo. Gunther carries it in, drops it back to Sergachev. He returns it to Keller. Keller from the corner. He's the maestro of this power play. Cooley from the net front. Keller at the faceoff dot. Keller taking his measurements. Goes back up high to Sergachev. Mikhail Sergachev shoots through a crowd, and then Keller tracks it down to the far side. Cooley's pass broken up and sails over the head of the 6'3" Mikhail Sergachev, and Utah has to reorganize. Power play is halfway through. Utah had possession there, but couldn't get anything towards the middle of this Toronto penalty kill. And now the Leafs clear it out once again. This goes into the penalty box. Utah is saying that this should be a delay of game call. Keller, Gunther, and Cooley are all pleading their case, and our officials are going to look it over. Adrian, one of these went against Utah the other night in Buffalo. The puck was cleared into the bench, and it was not called a delay of game, even though it looked like it might have gone over the glass. But our linesman and referee take a quick peek, and there's going to be no penalty.
Oh, I'm really, really surprised at that, Mike, as Steven Lorenz took a backhanded swing trying to gather that puck, and it went over the glass, was not tipped. Andre Cherney can't believe it.
And that should be a penalty for a delay of game. I'm not quite sure what we missed there. Utah on the power play for the next 50 seconds. Puck in the Toronto zone. Cooley has it. Now Gunther in the near corner. Gunther up top. Sergachev. Keller. One-timer off the stick. Cooley in front for Schmaltz. Knocked away from the net. Cooley feeds the middle, but taken away by Waugh and cleared. Just over 30 seconds left in the power play. Steven Lorenz on a hard shorthanded forecheck, trying to milk some clock. Utah has to work a little harder than normal to get that back. Up ahead comes Logan Cooley. Dylan Gunther walks this below the goal line. Keller to the middle for Schmaltz. He was tied up by Joshua, and Toronto gets to it. Near the end of the penalty, this rolls in on Vitek Vanacek. Utah will be 0 for 2 on the Rio Tinto power play. And we are still in a 2-1 hockey game, but Schmaltz steals the puck in his own zone. He's been out there a while, doesn't have much left, just dumps this in deep, and will go off on a change. Or at least try to. Scott Lawton out of the penalty box from the red line. He sent this in behind Vanacek, who so far has stopped 9 of 11 shots. 7 minutes to go in the second period. Dead ahead, Barrett Hayden carving in, knocked away at the last moment by Carlo, but a penalty called against the Maple Leafs. Tripping the call against Carlo. He took out Barrett Hayden. And Utah is going right back to the power play. Carlo booked for a trip. The crowd thought he knocked it away clean. It was a beautiful stretch pass up the ice. I think he got him. I think that's a great call. I didn't see that initially. I thought Carlo got a stick on the puck, but you could see his hand clearly drilled the boot of Barrett Hayden, knocking him out, and that was well before Carlo's stick got a piece of the puck. So Utah going back to the Rio Tinto power play. It's their third of the game, just under 7 minutes left in the second period. Carlo in the penalty box. And Utah will start their second unit on this power play. Peterka lost the faceoff. And it comes all the way down Toronto's a team that has been pretty good at staying out of the penalty box for the most part this year. Not as much the case here tonight as Barrett Hayton gets tied up and Matthew Nyes knows right what to do with that. He just sends it all the way down towards Vitek Vanacek. Thought there was maybe a chance we had a penalty shot for Barrett Hayton, but instead it's a 5-on-4 power play. Hayton was in behind everybody. Barrett Hayton and Peterka walk their way in down the right flank. It's Peterka out of the corner. Up high, Schmidt. This way, Carcone. Lasers one. Glove save. Yamamoto digging, and they finally blow the whistle. Stolarz looked like he squeezed that glove arm up against the midsection to make a save. After a shot from Michael Carcone at the left faceoff dot. That was a late whistle there. They let Yamamoto get a couple of whacks on Anthony Stolarz as he tried to find that puck right in front of him. 1:11 to go in the power play. And here comes Utah's top unit onto the ice. Now you got to make sure that if you don't convert here, you get that fourth forward off the ice and a second defenseman on, so that the Maple Leafs can't quickly turn penalty killing into offense. Face-off controlled by the Leafs, and it's kissed off the glass by Scott Laughton. Utah re-enters with Keller. Clayton Keller coaxing it along. His pass to the middle easily cut off by Waugh. Laughton goes charging up the far wing. And the Mammoth get it back with Keller. 50 seconds left in the third power play of the game for Utah, trailing 2-1. Sergachev stripped to the puck, and this is sent all the way down again. Vanacek plays it over to Keller. Speaking of goaltenders playing the puck, we saw Utah's Karel Vejmelka pick up an assist last night on the game-winning goal scored by Clayton Keller. Here comes Nick Schmaltz. He swerves it across the line. Cooley. Across it goes to Nate Schmidt. 19 to go in the power play. The captain Keller from the corner. Cooley. Keller along the goal line now. Keller. Schmidt had the puck hop his stick. And now Schmaltz settles things down for Gunther. Gunther, left circle. Shoots, save, rebound, knocked away. Oh, it was sitting there in the blue paint. We're at 5-on-5. One-timer Gunther fought off by Stolarz and sent all the way down by Toronto. This will be icing against the Maple Leafs. Some tired penalty killers out there. Utah 0 for 3 on the Rio Tinto power play. Dylan Gunther had a shot up high. Nick Schmaltz had a look at it, but it was the former Utah defenseman Dakota Mermis who knocked it out of the blue paint before Schmaltz could tap it in. That was maybe one of the better chances Utah's had here tonight. 2-1. Utah wins an offensive zone faceoff. Cole towards the net, and Stolarz makes a save and stops play with 4:41 to go in the second period. 2-1 the score. Maple Leafs still leading. Utah's missed a couple of opportunities on the power play, but a long way to go in this one when we come back on Hockey Night in Utah.
I'm Lawson Krause. You're listening to Utah Mammoth Hockey.
Hey, it's Adrian Denny. It's all going to be here.
And Mike Folta. We're going to take you inside the locker room, and we're with you every morning on the Mammoth Daily Podcast.
For us, it's a daily thing.
It's every day, right?
New episodes drop Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Utahns, countrymen, lend me your ears.
This is Mammoth Daily.
Tusks up.
Mammoth fans, visit your local Utah Bullfrog Spas factory store today to receive up to 50% off of a Bullfrog Spas hot tub or swim spa, including refurbished and scratch and dent. Bullfrog Spas feature the patented jetpack therapy system, allowing jetpacks to be interchangeable and customizable for the perfect massage and relaxation. Hurry, inventory is limited. Bullfrog Spas, a Utah company. Peaceful body, peaceful mind, peaceful home.
KSL Sports, Utah's sports leader, connecting you with your favorite local teams and the action you love. Live game coverage and news with KSL Sports Zone Radio, KSL 5 Television, and KSLSports.com. Live and streaming, insider analysis, and podcasts from the pros. Utah's sports leader, KSL Sports. On air, online, and on the KSL Sports app.
We're staring at a lot of history here in the rafters of Scotiabank Arena, an Original Six franchise, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have record books and archives that run deep, but one record that it's hard to imagine being broken is Alex Ovechkin scoring 900 NHL goals. Ovechkin just scored his 900th tonight. Washington is up 2-0 on the St. Louis Blues. But Ovechkin broke Gretzky's goal record last year, and now he reaches even new heights. 2-1 in our game. 4:41 left of the second period. 2-1 the score. Toronto leading after 2 goals here in the second period. Puck in the Maple Leaf zone. It's loose on the near side for Brandon Carlo, 29-year-old out of Colorado Springs. Up the ice, John Marino does well to pry it away from Nicholas Robertson, who has points in each of his last 3 games. He's a depth forward for the Maple Leafs who's been playing better recently, and he's been promoted to play with some of the better players on this Maple Leaf roster. Toronto finally with a full complement of forwards with Lorentz and Lawton back into the lineup. They've had to resort to their depth to start the year. Robertson, whose older brother is Jason with Dallas, gets this puck to the side of the net, and Vitek Vanacek stops the play with 3:57 left in the second period. Adrian Denny's back in our Mountain Blue studios. And Adrian, how about 900 for Alex Ovechkin? I mean, this is something we didn't think was possible as of a few years ago. Who's ever going to catch this guy?
You know, Mike, I'm thinking we haven't heard a lot about Ovi lately. That was just his 3rd goal of the season to get to 900. I remember it seemed like first week or so we're talking 2 away and didn't hear a thing. There's his 3rd of the year and number 900. He
had 2 goals against Utah when Washington came to town early in the season last year, and then he had a collision with Jack McBain and injured himself, missed a lot of time, and people thought that he wasn't going to break Gretzky's record, and people were sending Utah a lot of hate mail. Slap shot from Sergachev, and they score! The Mammoth tie it up. Sergachev sneaks one through, and we're tied at 2. 3.5 to go in the second period, and Mikhail Sergachev fires a seeing eye shot from the blue line that beats Stolarz and locks us up. 4th line was on the ice. They got their work boots on, and Sergachev just rifled that past the Leafs goaltender from up high. I'm not sure if it was tipped or if Stolarz even saw it. Didn't look like he had a lot of velocity on that shot, Mikhail Sergachev, but it counts all the same, and we know Sergey can fire the pill. He continuously gets the puck up to 90 miles an hour plus. That one was not one of his harder shots, but it beat Stolarz. Adrian, there was a little traffic in front, but what made that shot so tricky?
That was just a nice shot there by Sergey. You had Tanev and Stenlin with Yamamoto in the neighborhood, but what really made it, Mike, was that slip pass from Simashev to Sergachev, and Dimitri's going to have his first pro point on that primary helper.
He certainly does, and he's been playing well enough to get points, Adrian, just hasn't had the luck so far.
We've been really impressed with how he possesses and manages the puck, Mike. Really, really smooth with the puck, and without the puck is how he made this team.
Known for his defensive abilities, Dmitry Simashev. He's the defensive anchor on that deep pairing with Sergachev, who now has 3 goals on the year. But Simashev picks up his first NHL point, and there's probably a lot more to his offensive game that can be unlocked. He has a lot of skill and great skating, which we've seen on display night in and night out. Toronto has the puck in their own zone with 2:40 left in the second period. Sergachev gets the goal from Simashev, waiting for a secondary assist on that. The 4th line had won a puck battle below the goal line and had got the puck up high for Sergachev to launch one past Stolarz.
You know, Mike, it was Utah for the second straight goal on a dump-in. Stenlund with the nice pass to Simashev, retrieving that puck in the corner.
All right, so give an assist to Kevin Stenlund then. And Utah's third and fourth lines have the 2 goals here in this game. Peterka working with Gunther into the offensive zone, but a nice poke check there by Max Domi. And now Simashev fends off the forecheck of Domi as Utah regroups. I heard someone compare Dmitry Simashev to Victor Hedman, and I haven't been able to get that out of my head. Now, he's only a handful of games into his NHL career, but he's 20 years old, and once he starts asserting himself even more, I love that comparison. He has the ability to erase plays the same way that Hedman does. He's got a heavy shot, and once he starts contributing some more of that offense, I think we'll see that comparison shape up even more. This comes out to center. Adrian, what do you think of that?
I like it. Did we ask Mikhail Sergachev what he thinks with the close ties that he has to both of them?
I've been on a tough run of asking Sergey questions recently. He might look at me again like I have 4 eyes, like he did during our Wednesday Odd Man Rush interview that you can watch on Mammoth Daily. I asked Mikhail Sergachev, I asked him, well, we didn't know that he was going to make the team. What did you think of him in camp? and Sergey looked at me with the deepest disdain that you could fathom. He said, Adrian, you tried to save me from that.
He said, you didn't think he was going to make the team?
we didn't know. We didn't know. We thought he was going to be in Tucson to start the year, and oops. That's why we're up here. The coaches are down there, and the scouts are sitting in a separate booth far from us.
We may be the eyes in the sky, Mike, but we're not those eyes in the sky. And watching that goal again, Brandon Tanev retrieving that first pro point puck for Simashev, and it was a nice play. Tanev and Stenlund, pressure in the corner. Stenlund might not get an assist there, but he was the one that forced it free to go to Simashev.
Looks like William Nylander got hit up high here in the Toronto zone. 50 seconds left in the second period, and Nylander is having some trouble as he skates back to the Toronto bench. He's doubled over. He's been dealing with an injury throughout the first part of this season. And, that puck just came up and hit him in the head. It was a total fluke play. His own defenseman was clearing it up the glass and out. It caromed off the glass and conked Willie Nylander right in the dome. He appears to be okay. He's still on the Maple Leaf bench. He's kind of tapping back behind his ear where it looked like it got him. 50 seconds left in the second. Coming up is our Mark Miller Subaru second intermission reports with Adrian Denny. Nick Schmaltz trying to poke it back to John Marino. And this is Matthew Nyes blazing it across the blue line. Friendly fire. He ran right into his own man, John Tavares. And that allows Utah to regain possession. 2-2 the score after the goal from Mikhail Sergachev, his third of the year. He had a career-high 15 last season. Austin Matthews to center for Jake McCabe, who gets stepped into. Schmaltz steals it. Schmaltz working in. And a heavy back check by the Maple Leafs extinguished that chance for a split second. It looked like it could have been a 2-on-1 for Schmaltz and Keller. Instead, the Leafs get it and work it back into the Utah zone. This is cushioned down by Jack McBain. Stolen by Matthew Nyes. Pass across. A little too far for Bobby McMahon. And the period comes to a close. 2 goals for Toronto here after 2 for the Utah Mammoth. And we head to the third, tied at 2 apiece at Scotiabank Arena. It's all Adrian Denny when we come back after this on our Mark Miller Subaru second intermission report.
I am Dmitry Simashev. You're listening to Utah Mammoth Hockey.
Hi, Hi, everyone. Julie Stewart-Binks here, along with former NHLer Nate Thompson. Join us on Energy Line as we share our takes, stories, and surprise guests every week. Patrick Kane, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Team USA head coach Mike Sullivan. 6-time Stanley Cup champion Mark Messier.
With over 800 NHL games, I know a couple guys.
Biz didn't have Twitter. No one knew who he was, so I called Whit, and I'm like, how's Biz? He was like, I'm telling you right now, you're going to hate him. Then he'll be your best friend.
Listen on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts,
or wherever you get your podcasts.
In America, the future belongs to everyone, so we built the vehicles of the future for everyone. Command the road with America's best-selling trucks for 46 years and counting, Ford F-Series. Gear up and head out in an all-wheel drive Ford SUV, perfect for the mountains, city, and everywhere in between. Or check out Ford's adventurous new lineup like Bronco, Bronco Sport, and Maverick. Inventory has arrived. Head to your local Ford stores today for big cash back, low APR, and great lease offers based on 1977 to 2022 CY total sales.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps, spiced cider in every glass, laughter around every plate. At Smith's, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
This season, Mountain Land Supply is teaming up with Utah Mammoth to support families in need. For every Mammoth assist, Mountain Land Supply will donate $20 to Primary Children's Hospital to provide critical care and resources to children in need. The Utah Mammoth organization is proud to match these donations dollar for dollar up to $20,000. Together, we can make a difference.
For over a century, one name stands above the rest when it comes to ice cream and bringing families together. Far Better Ice Cream creates magical moments, one delicious scoop at a time. From your favorite childhood flavors to exciting new combinations, Far's has something to satisfy every craving. Visit your local grocery store and take your favorite Far's flavor home with you, or grab a scoop during the game. Far Better Ice Cream, bringing families together for more than a century, one scoop at a time. Far Better Ice Cream, only the best for family and friends.
It's the Mark Miller Subaru second intermission report.
He's got the hottest stick in the league
on Hockey Night in Utah.
Big time stop from Corral Vamelka.
From the Mountain Blue Studios, here's Adrian Denny.
And he injured himself, missed a lot of time, and people thought that he wasn't going to break Gretzky's record, and people were sending Utah a lot of hate mail. Slap shot from Sergachev, and they score! The Mammoth tie it up. Sergachev sneaks one through, and we're tied at 2.
So the Mammoth, who led 1-0 after 20, they fall behind in that second period, giving up 2 goals in a 4-minute and 10-second span in the first 8 minutes and 56 seconds. But they started to chip away. They drew a couple penalties. They got a couple really nice shifts from their fourth line, and Mikhail Sergachev right there on the bomb from Dmitry Simashev for Dmitri's first NHL point. Nods Utah up at 2 after 40 minutes as we start our Mark Miller Subaru second intermission report. So Utah with 5 of the final 6 shots in that second period after falling behind 2-1, drew a couple penalties. Again, that fourth line out there drawing that second one. The first one with Kyler Yamamoto, Kevin Stellan, and Brandon Tanev coming back down. And then Brandon Carlo tripping up Barrett Hayton. Utah didn't score on any of those power plays, but kept the momentum going. Just a simple dump in by Kevin Stenlin. Him and Brandon Tanev went to retrieve the puck, forced it away from Jake McCabe, went to Simashev, to Sergachev, tied at 2 after 40. A late penalty in that period, all explained after we go back to Mike in Toronto, standing by with Mikhail Sergachev.
Here after period 2 with Mikhail Sergachev. And Mikhail, congrats on the goal, but your old roommate, Dmitry Simashev, gets his first pro point. How cool is that for him?
That's awesome. I had a feeling today before the game that he was going to get one, and I'm happy for him.
What have you made of the way that you guys have kind of possessed the puck and controlled the pace of play at times while also keeping Toronto in check?
I mean, it wasn't our best period, obviously. We
had way too many turnovers in the neutral zone, didn't put it deep, but we still managed to go in the third period 2-2, so that's a good sign, but at the same time, we gotta tighten up a little bit.
Third period in game 2 of a back-to-back, what's the most important part when it comes to making sure you guys can maximize your energy?
Put it behind their D and go to work and shoot the puck, usual.
All right, thanks, sir. Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mikhail Sergachev and Mike Folta. Sergachev now has 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points in his last 8 games after he was held scoreless for the first 6 games of the year. And the way Utah has scored tonight, folks, it has been so simple. Sergei said it. Get the puck in behind their goalie. Utah, their third line in the first, their fourth line in the second. Just a simple dump in deep into the Toronto zone. Pressure on the D forced them to panic. Stenlund and Tanev forced Jake McCabe to panic right there with the puck, and they were able to force it free. Went right to Dmitry Simashev, who got it to Mikhail Sergachev as Tanev and Stenlund went net front to distract in that area. But good job by Utah. They trailed 2-1 for 7:31 in that second period. They had no momentum. It came out. Toronto took charge in that middle frame. Utah got it back. They're going to be shorthanded because Jack McBain took a cross-check at Matty Nyes for Toronto after the buzzer in that second period. Went over and just jabbed him with a cross-check as the teams were skating away. He'll be in the penalty box to start the third. When we come back, our spotlight game of the night in the National Hockey League, we are tied at 2 in Toronto with our game with the Mammoth and the Maple Leafs on Hockey Night in Utah.
Attention Jazz Nation, the long wait is finally over. Mountain basketball is back and better than ever. Let's go! All tickets are on sale now and you won't want to miss the action. Jump on the opportunity to watch your favorite players live and in person. Whether you're after season tickets, mini plans, or single game matchups, the Utah Jazz has got your back. There's a plan for every fan. Don't miss out. Secure your seats today and be part of the excitement all season long. Let's go! Visit UtahJazz.com today.
Helping your money do more means making sure you get the most out of every dollar. That's why, for a limited time, when you open a new America First Visa credit card and spend $3,000 within 90 days, we'll give you $300. That's like getting a 10% discount on everything you pay for with your card. Before you spend another cent, head to AmericaFirst.com and apply for your low-rate Visa credit card today. Membership eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions apply. Subject to additional criteria. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
When it's hockey or basketball night in Salt Lake, locals head to Big Willie's, Utah's best sports bar with 25 TVs, diamond pool tables, and drinks that hit just right. It's the ultimate home for every big game. Whether you're watching the puck drop or counting down the shot clock, there's no better place to cheer, chill, and talk a little smack. Open till 1 a.m. every night. Big Willie's Sports Bar, where Salt Lake watches hockey, hoops, and everything in between.
Did you know that at Chevron, you can fuel up on unbeatable mileage and savings? With Chevron Rewards, you'll get 25 cents off per gallon on your next 5 visits. All you have to do is download the Chevron app and join to start saving on fuel. Then you can keep fueling up on other things like adventure, memories, vacations, daycations, quality time, and so many other possibilities. Head to your nearest Chevron station to fuel up and get rewarded today. Terms apply. See ChevronTexcoRewards.com for more details.
Hockey lives here.
Sagan to Ben, down low, delays, he scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Let's take a trip around the league and check in on our Spotlight Game of the Night on your Mark Miller Subaru second intermission report.
Sets up shot, topside with Carlson. Lines in, fires, score! Wilson camped out in front. That changes direction, and Washington has the lead. Binnington waiting back behind his goal. Wants to play it himself. Lost it there to Ovechkin. Quick relay comes to the point. Chychrun fires, just missed. Ovechkin turns, he scores! The Great Eight is the one and only at 900.
Alexander Ovechkin's third of the year is his 900th career goal. That's a spotlight game of the night. The National Hockey League Capitals have a 4-0 lead in the second period against St. Louis. Jim Montgomery, the head coach of the Blues, has pulled the goalie again. Joel Hofer this time goes in for Jordan Binnington. You remember when Utah was in St. Louis less than 2 weeks ago, they got 4 the first, and Joel Hofer was lifted for Jordan Binnington. How about this? The St. Louis Blues entered the game at 4-7-2. Second worst record in the Western Conference. They were 3-7-2 entering action on Monday against the Edmonton Oilers, and they beat them 3-2, holding Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins without a shot. So you're thinking, is that the turnaround game for the Blues? Nope. Down 4-0 in the second period at Washington here on this Wednesday night. Adrian Teddy back with you inside our Mountain Blues studios. We've got a good one going to the third period. The Utah Mammoth and the Toronto Maple Leafs are level at 2. Utah 3-1 this year when tied going to the third, including yesterday in Buffalo. It was a scoreless contest going to the final period of regulation. Nick Schmaltz got the scoring started in the first 4 minutes. Buffalo tied it. Utah won that game in overtime. However, Toronto is also a really good third period team, including their last game. They erased a 3-0 deficit in the third with 4 goals in just over 10 minutes, won 4-3. Leafs have outscored their opposition 22-14 in the third periods this year. They entered tonight with just 23 goals in the first 2 periods. So a big one coming up in the final 20 from Toronto. Utah looking for a win. The Scotiabank Arena trying to start this road trip 2-0, looking for their NHL leading 10th win of the season. We'll come back. Mike Foltz's second period highlights when we roll back on our Mark Miller Subaru second intermission report right here on Hockey Night Utah.
In a car wreck, dog bite, slip and fall. Just call Quick Swap. One call, that's all.
After a car wreck, dealing with big insurance companies on your own can hurt your case. One call, that's all means we take care of everything. From dealing with insurance companies to helping you find doctors and repair shops, we're here to guide you from start to finish. Call Craig Swap & Associates today at 801-444-4444.
One call, that's all.
At Atlas Investment Management, we get to know you. Unlike the large national firms, we are right here in your community. We take the time to understand your goals, your dreams, your story. And then we build a proactive, hands-on strategy around them. Because outperform isn't just our tagline, it's who we are. Atlas Investment Management, where you are our focus.
Investment advisory services offered through Ignite Planners LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Federal employees keep our country going, and GEHA is proud to keep them going with health plans exclusively for them. We were started by postal employees in 1937, and today we offer all federal employees a network of 1.7 million providers and a health plan for every stage of life. That's why we've been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. GEHA. Find your federal health plan at GEHA.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone, so we built the vehicles of the future for everyone. Command the road with America's best-selling trucks for 46 years and counting, Ford F-Series. Gear up and head out in an all-wheel drive Ford SUV, perfect for the mountains, city, and everywhere in between. Or check out Ford's adventurous new lineup like Bronco, Bronco Sport, and Maverick. Inventory has arrived. Head to your local Ford stores today for big cash back, low APR, and great lease offers based on 1977 to 2022 CY total sales.
A little bit of sweet chin music. Period 2 highlights.
Tavares cutting back and forth, centers the puck, bouncing around, right in front, they score! Nylander knocks one in, and we're tied at 1. Matthew Nyes sets up Austin Matthews. Nyes gets it back in across the line. Matthews, top of the right circle. One-timer fought off by Vanacek. There's a slap shot from Matthews, and he scores! Matias Michelli set him up, and Toronto's captain puts the Maple Leafs in front. Matthews gets the goal, a one-time laser beam past Vitek Vanacek. Slap shot from Sergachev, and they score! The Mammoth tie it up. Sergachev sneaks one through, and we're tied at 2.
Tied at 2 going to the third, starting the third period of play, shorthanded for the first time tonight. Jack McBain, after the buzzer of the second, gets whistled for cross-checking. Matthew Nyes. Utah has held Toronto to just 12 shots in this game. They're outshooting them 16-12. In their last 5 periods, they've allowed 9 shots, 5 shots, 7 shots, 5 shots, 7 shots. 18 shots last night in Buffalo. Just 12 shots for the Leafs here through 40 minutes of play. And up until that Jack McBain minor penalty at the end of the second period, Utah had done a great job of staying out of the penalty box, drawing 5 straight power plays going back to last night in Buffalo when they were shorthanded twice in the first period. So the Leafs are going to start the third period on the power play looking to get the lead back after Utah tied it up with 3:33 left to go in the second on Sergachev's third of the year from Dmitry Simashev in his first NHL point. Mike Volta back with the penalty kill, and then we'll look to take the lead when we continue right after this. Starting the third period, this has been your Mark Miller Subaru second intermission report on Hockey Night Utah.
It all starts here. The Salt Lake City Stars, the official Utah Jazz affiliate with a new look that brings mountain basketball to the fans. You can witness exciting, fast-paced games and be part of an electric atmosphere that fans of all ages can enjoy, with tickets starting at $10. Don't miss the chance to see up-and-coming talent of the next generation. Get your tickets today at slcstars.com. Basketball starts here.
Jim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. Did you know that we offer 3 distinct styles of gutter protection? Each one meant to handle a specific leaf problem. You might not even know there are different styles of gutter protection, but there are. And if you pick the wrong one, it could be a huge waste of money. Now, the big gutter guard companies won't tell you this. They try to sell you a one-size-fits-all gutter guard. And it could be completely wrong for the amount and types of trees and leaves you have. Not RGS Exteriors. We understand which kind of leaf problem needs which kind of gutter guard. We'll do an in-depth evaluation to assess the types, locations, and numbers of trees in your yard. Based on that data, we match your home to the right gutter guard. So don't risk wasting money on the wrong gutter protection. For a free evaluation and estimate, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
On the ice, the Mammoth bring the heat. At home, that's the job of same-day heating and air, the preferred HVAC provider of the Utah Mammoth. Right now, stay ahead of winter with same-day heating and air's special furnace financing offers and save big with $1,500 off a brand new furnace and AC system. Don't let the cold put you on the bench. Call Same-Day HVAC at 801-948-2668 or visit samedayutah.com.
Two periods down.
And this crowd loves it.
And one more to go.
Our final lap is coming up.
Period 3 begins now.
So good it'll save your life.
Here's Mike Folta.
20 more minutes at Scotiabank Arena. We're tied at 2 between Utah and Toronto. Utah opens up the third period on the GEHA penalty kill. It's their first penalty kill of the night. Federal employees keep our country going, and GEHA is proud to keep them going. Find your federal health plan at GEHA.com. Jack McBain was called for a cross-check after the whistle, right when we stopped play to end the second. And so Utah opens up this third period on their first penalty kill of the night. William Nylander carries it up the ice. John Tavares got stick checked, then stripped by Sergachev, and Sergachev mails it all the way down. 30 seconds into the period, 30 seconds into the penalty kill. The power play for Toronto has been a little dry lately, similar to Utah, as they are 0 for their last 3 games. Puck in front, courtesy of Tavares, and it rolls through the blue paint, back out the other side. Ekman Larsson keeps it moving. He was promoted to this top power play unit last game. Now Tavares, left circle, shoots off a stick. That was blocked by Ian Cole, and it gets knocked out to center. Ian Cole, 4th in the league in block shots entering tonight. He led the league in blocks a year ago. He blocked one there on Tavares. Over a minute into the power play. Clean ice right now for Toronto. Ekman-Larsson shimmies down the far wall. Puck in front. And that was Tavares who got ambushed by Marino as he tried to back his way into the slot. Utah clears. Both teams make changes. 35 to go in the penalty. Morgan Riley in the second unit out there right now. Matias Michelli finds Max Domi, who soccers this ahead. Nicholas Robertson breezes down the left wing. Michelli low to high for Morgan Riley. Then Michelli left circle. Matias Michelli trying to feed the middle. Robertson couldn't tuck it in on the near side. There was a wall in front of him. Back up top it goes for Morgan Riley. 10 to go in the power play. Michelli skating downhill. Pass across it. Hopped the stick of Domi. Back upstairs. Riley couldn't settle a bouncer down. It leaks to center. And out comes McBain. Utah is 1 for 1 on the GEHA penalty kill. Pass across. Robertson. Shoot. Vanacek got over to make a good save. Maybe Vitek Vanacek's best work of the night, sliding from post to post to keep Nicholas Robertson out of the back of the net. Toronto still with the puck in the offensive zone. 2-2. Just over 2 minutes into the third period. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, former captain of the Arizona Coyotes, sends us around the wall. Mammoth cannot clear. Bouncing puck in the slot. Knocked away by Olli Mata, and the veteran defenseman gets this out to neutral ice. At center, Bobby McMahon. He dumps this in deep. McMahon, the hero a couple nights ago against Pittsburgh. Flown ahead by Kevin Stenlund. Toronto native Brandon Tanev took a bump from Austin Matthews. It's dumped in deep. Brandon would have had a chance to play against his brother Chris, who's a defenseman with Toronto, but Chris was stretchered off the ice a couple games back. He's doing fine now, but he's dealing with an injury, and so Chris Tanev not in the lineup for the Maple Leafs tonight. Kyler Yamamoto through center, pulls out the lob wedge and deposits this down to the near corner. Stenlund, a sharp angle shot, missed everything. Nate Schmidt goes D-to-D for Ian Cole. Sends it right back around the roulette wheel. Schmidt pitches down on the left wing. Philip Myers cuts it off. And the Maple Leafs look for an exit route out of their own zone, but they turn it over. Barrett Hayden lugs it down the near side. Hayden absorbing a hit from Dakota Mermis. There's Keller, back to Hayden. He shoots in tight on Stolars, who makes a good save. This is skied out through the middle of the ice and all the way down. It will be icing against Toronto. 4 minutes gone by in the third. There are some hunched over Maple Leafs right now on the ice. Bobby McMahon among them, his stick down on his knees. Moments ago, Vitek Vanacek with a pretty good save on the 24-year-old Nicholas Robertson, former second-round pick of Toronto, who has been kind of up and down all the way, or all around the lineup for head coach Craig Berube. Berube in his second full season as head coach of Toronto. He spent 6 years as the bench boss with the St. Louis Blues, and of course helped the Blues win the Stanley Cup in 2019. Keller shoots, and that's dismissed by Stolars with the blocker. Good save from Toronto's netminder on Utah's captain. Speeding ahead is Morgan Riley. Riley with Robertson, tipped just past the net. There's Nicholas Robertson again with the defenseman Riley trying to set him up. Utah will make a change. 4.5 minutes into the third period. We are still tied at 2. Morgan Riley up high in the offensive zone. Shoots, and that was tipped just wide. Tavares got a piece of that in front of Vitek Vanacek, who has lost his goal stick. But Utah gets this through the center zone and down towards Toronto's end. Brandon Carlo trying to avoid the forecheck of the Mammoth. Will reorganize behind his own net for Morgan Riley, who's been everywhere, it seems like, here in this third period. Sent too far down the ice, and Olli Mata wins the race on Tavares to get the icing whistle. 5 minutes into the third period. So Utah 1 for 1 on the PK, tied at 2. Goals so far from Karkoni and Sergachev. Mammoth trying to win their second in a row here on the road. If they could, it would be the second time this year that the Mammoth have swept a back-to-back. Last year, Utah played 12 back-to-back sets. They play 11 this year. Big road stretch for the Mountain Blue as well. They're in the middle of a 9-game stretch, of which 8 are coming away from Delta Center. important part of the year for Utah. They've handled it beautifully so far. Entering tonight, Utah with 9 wins, tied for the most in the NHL with Montreal, Winnipeg, New Jersey, and Detroit. Mammoth have also won 4 of their last 5 on the road as an offside whistle halts play. 5.5 minutes into the third. Mammoth have won 8 of their last 10. They had that franchise best 7-game winning streak a couple weeks ago. That was snapped in a loss against the Edmonton Oilers. Then Utah dropped a close one against Tampa at home. Got back on track last night against Buffalo, and it's on to Toronto here tonight before they take on a very exciting Montreal Canadiens team coming up on Saturday, and then the Ottawa Senators on Sunday. This gets dumped in back behind Vitek Vanacek in the Utah zone. Matias Michelli with an assist tonight. Out there with Dakota Joshua twisting and turning against Mikhail Sergachev. Joshua, great story. He had to battle through testicular cancer last year. It really affected his numbers. Missed a lot of training camp, but Toronto's given him a chance, and he almost tucked that one in on the far side. But Utah gets to it with Kevin Stenlund, and Utah's fourth-line centerman dumps this down the ice. Stenlund shoulder to shoulder with Philip Myers. Stenlund with a tight area pass for Kyler Yamamoto. Yamamoto, that's a name that has been haunting Toronto fans, at least on the diamond as of late. So maybe a little trigger warning next time Kyler climbs over the boards for our dear Blue Jays fans and friends. Ian Cole from his own blue line. Utah starting the breakout in a 2-2 game. This deflects down towards Toronto's territory. Dragged along the boards by Barrett Hayton. He fends off Austin Matthews. Jake McCabe kicks it free. Keller almost took over, but the Maple Leafs escape to center, and here they come with Matthew Nyes, but a good play with his stick that time by Ian Cole to win it back. Almost 7 minutes into the third. Nothing going on here in period 3. Again, this has been a fairly low event game as this deflects over towards Karel Vejmelka, the backup goaltender on Utah's bench. It goes out of play, and it allows us to catch our breath here at Scotiabank Arena. 2-2 hockey game when we come back on Hockey Night in Utah. Mammoth and Maple Leafs tied.
I am Vitek Vanacek. You are listening to Utah Mammoth Hockey.
Tusks up, my guy. Woo! Tips up, my dude.
Come again? Mammoth Hockey and Icon Pass. Both mind-blowing. The second lets you drop in on over 60 mountains worldwide, including Utah favorites Deer Valley, Solitude, Alta, Snowbird, and Snow Basin.
All right. Tips up.
And Tusks up. Enjoy more with Icon Pass starting at $349 adult. Score now at iconpass.com.
Looking for the perfect treat? Dive into True Fruit, where nature's fruit meets rich, indulgent chocolate. True Fruit's fresh fruit is hyper-chilled to lock in flavor and nutrition, with clean ingredients you can feel good about. Whether you're craving strawberries, cherries, or blueberries, True Fruit is your go-to snack. Find True Fruit in the freezer aisle, wherever you shop for your groceries. True Fruit. Indulge in the best of nature.
KSL Sports, Utah's sports leader, connecting you with your favorite local teams and the action you love. Live game coverage and news with KSL Sports Zone Radio, KSL 5 Television, and KSLSports.com. Live and streaming, insider analysis, and podcasts from the pros. Utah's sports leader, KSL Sports. On air, online, and on the KSL Sports app.
Tied at 2 in Toronto. Adrian Teddy back at our Mountain Blue Studios. Mike Folta at the Scotiabank Arena. And tomorrow we're back with you on Mammoth Daily, your 30-minute podcast on your Tusks Up team, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Mike, Dom Moore will stop by tomorrow. We'll talk some systems. And then Friday, really excited, Nick Schmaltz's brother, Jordan, will be on the program. And earlier today, we dropped Logan Cooley with you and Tyson Nash on our weekly podcast, the Nashcast.
Podcasts everywhere. No excuse to be lonely on your drive to work in the morning. Adrian and I have you covered on Mammoth Daily. Like Adrian said, a great talk with Dom Moore tomorrow. Little four-part series with Dom. Utah tied at 2. 13 minutes left in regulation. Mammoth trying to continue their solid form on this road trip as Steven Lorentz got checked down by Oli Mata. Out through center, the Maple Leafs try and re-enter the zone, but Lorentz is turned away, rejected at the blue line. Lawson Krause thunders ahead down the right wing, pumps the brakes, tried to feed the middle. This bounces back towards the Toronto line, and Max Domi starts heading north. Domi wags the puck, shoots. It was blocked in front, hit his own man, Lorentz, and that stung him like a wasp. He's having trouble getting back to the bench. Dumped back in by Utah. Kid line on the ice. Peterka, Gunther, and Cooley. Utah's top two lines have been wildly effective this season. Combined, the captain's line and the kid line have outscored the opposition 20-10 entering tonight. Cooley and the kids held in check so far this evening. Now a puck bounces in and Toronto scores. It's Tavares. John Tavares has been right in the middle of everything here tonight. Utah couldn't handle a puck deep in their own zone. It came in front of Vitek Vanacek, and for the second time in this game, the Maple Leafs got to a puck in the low slot quicker than the Mammoth could. Just a heck of a play by Bobby McMahon to strong-arm that to the front of the net. It bounced past Gunther, and then Tavares with the backhand knocked that in on the night that they have celebrated his 500 career goals. And the Maple Leafs pull in front with just under 12 minutes left in period number 3. 7th goal of the year for John Tavares. And it's 3-2. Tell you what, it feels like the Maple Leafs have earned all 3 of their goals so far here tonight. Utah's fourth line on the ice. Yamamoto to the front. It's knocked behind the net. Yamamoto back onto it. Into the slot for Stenlund. Knocked away. Robertson skating back towards the Mammoth zone. McMahon glides down the left wing. Now the puck is laid back past the stick of Jake McCabe. Goal number 501 for John Tavares, who was given the golden stick earlier before the game for his 500 career goals. Just the 49th player in NHL history to accomplish that. Only the second ever Maple Leaf to hit 500 career goals with Toronto. Maple Leafs, an original 6 team. Surprising that there have only been 2 to reach 500 in a Maple Leaf sweater. The other, well, his banner's hanging right in front of us, Matt Sundin. Puck is out at center. Clayton Keller lays it back as Utah trails here 3-2. Schmaltz in with Jack McBain as he goes cascading into the near corner. Take it up against the glass. Dakota Joshua wedged off the puck by Krause. Joshua trying to force this into the Mammoth zone. And now it's Nick Waugh trying to feed one through to Joshua. Good hard shift there by the third line of Toronto as Krause makes his way in, shoots off the end wall, pass in front. That was between the legs by Carcone. It almost came back to McBain or Krause waiting on the far side. Now Oli Mata shoots up high off the shoulder of Stolars. It lands down behind the Toronto net. Stolars thinks it went out of play. Maple Leafs get to it, and Morgan Riley scans ahead. Whipped in from the red line. 9:40 to go in the third period. Utah trailing by a goal. Mammoth have one third period comeback win so far this season. J.J. Peterka dumps it in. Back out comes Gunther, Cooley, and Peterka. Big hit delivered by Gunther on Dakota Mermis. Sergachev dropping it back over to Simashev, who shoots into the glove of Stolars to stop play. Gunther going after it with a couple of the Leafs. There's a scrum in front. Philip Myers lands on top of Dylan Gunther. And those two have to be separated by our lines people. Some frustration boiling over for Utah's young line with 9:18 to go in the third period. 3-2 is the score. And one would think that we would have a timeout, and we do indeed. John Tavares Goal number 501. He has put Toronto in front. Utah in need of a goal when we come back on Hockey Night in Utah.
I'm Miguel Sergio. You're listening to Utah Mammoth Hockey.
Utah Mammoth Hockey is back at Delta Center. Don't miss your chance to be part of the excitement. Buy your tickets now at UtahMammoth.com. Great seats are available for most games and selling quickly. UtahMammoth.com. Your home for all things Mammoth Hockey.
Picture it. Your holiday table. The family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. Spiced cider in every glass. Laughter around every plate. At Smith's, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You have a brother. $100 bill just like you.
Hey, I'm Ben.
What?
We just got him for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $100 cash bonus when they open a checking account or $50 when they open a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Utah, are you ready for the Utah Mammoth to hit the ice? Catch every moment of the action with Mammoth Plus. Stream games, watch anywhere, and get games and highlights anytime. Stream at UtahMammothPlus.com.
Utah looking for the equalizer, Mike, down 3-2. Can we get it from that J.J. Paterka, Logan Cooley, Dylan Gunther line? They got off to a great start in this game. First 7 minutes, out attempting Toronto 4-1, but they've been on the ice for 2 of Toronto's 3 goals here, including the latest. John Tavares was wide open there. Nobody had him. Nobody was able to stop that nice puck from being slapped home by Tavares on the feed right in front after Toronto got the dump in from Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Goal and an assist for John Tavares here in this game, and his Maple Leafs lead at 3-2 with just over 9 minutes left in regulation. This is sent out to center by the Mammoth. Barrett Hayden trudges in across the line with Clayton Keller. Drop back for Schmaltz. Wrister knocked away by Stolars. He was bumped into by Barrett Hayden. That has been a bugaboo for the Maple Leafs. Their goaltender getting hit. Hayden battling for positioning. And this is Sergachev on the near side with the puck in the Toronto zone. Hayden's getting worked over in front of the net. Puck in front. Hayden had a chance, and it just rolled wide. You wonder if Barrett Hayden could have had a better attempt at that if he wasn't getting cross-checked time and time again in front of the net by a couple of the Toronto defensemen who took exception to Hayden bumping into their goaltender, Anthony Stolars. Was mentioning it earlier, but Stolars had some interesting and pretty provocative comments towards his own teammates after they let him get run into a few too many times. That was a few weeks ago. But that certainly sparked a bonfire here in the Toronto Mediaverse. Puck in the Toronto zone again. 8 to go in the third. Mammoth down by 1. Morgan Riley inches his way behind his own net. Now finds Tavares. Snapped ahead for Bobby McMahon. Nate Schmidt in hot pursuit down to the Utah end. Schmidt takes care of McMahon. Gunther steps in defensively as well. Marino in a torture chamber right now. Puck in the corner of the Utah zone. Nick Waugh drags it along the kick plate. And on the far side wall, that is Robertson who gets walled off. And Utah speeds through center with the lightning quick Brandon Tanev. Some activity away from the play, but we continue on. Matthias Michelli hands it off to Philip Myers. The Toronto defenseman gets this in behind Vitek Vanacek. The Czech netminder plays it up to Kyler Yamamoto. Just over 7 to go here in the third. In across the line, that is Kevin Stenlund. Sent down the boards, taken in by Yamamoto. He tried to drag it in front, but knocked away by the Leafs. Joshua parades to center, dumps this in. Tanev the first one back. Utah re-upping with Olimata. Trying to fend off the forecheck of Steven Lorentz. It's a good one. Ian Cole ahead to Lawson Krause. Mammoth breaking the pressure. Carcone gathers this in across the line. Hits the trailer. Krause. No, he missed him. pass was a little behind, and Max Domi chips and charges. Puck on the far side. Crowd wanted a penalty on Simashev, none given. He took down Domi in the corner. Now it's Sergachev battling behind his own net. Carcone steps in defensively. Just over 6 to go in the third. Flown ahead by Sergachev. Carlo checks his surroundings and moves it around his own wall. Third line nearing the end of their shift here. McBain, Krause, and Carcone. They scored Utah's first goal. Who's going to score the Mammoth's third goal? John Marino shakes down the right wing. Marino centers in front for Hayden, and it was knocked away by the stick of Ekman Larsson. Riley has possession. Can Toronto close things out here? This has been a pretty solid performance by the Maple Leafs, albeit a rather plodding game at times, but I think everybody here in Leaf land would rather see this game than the first 40 minutes they saw against Pittsburgh the other night, which were some of the worst that we've seen from a Maple Leafs team recently, and they were lucky to win that game. Shots are 20-17. Utah leading in that category, but down by 1 on the scoreboard. Loose puck at the Leaf logo at center. Sent in deep by McMahon. Vanacek handles the puck. He has given up 3 goals for the first time this season. Dylan Guenther walks it down the right wing, squeezes through the check of Riley. Riley eventually frees it up. Cooley takes Riley down and then belts right over Robertson. Puck towards Guenther. It rolled off his stick. He was checked. Loose as Peterka reaches for it. Couldn't get a handle. Philip Myers slashes at it, and this comes out into the neutral zone. Utah having trouble manufacturing anything here while down a goal. That third strike from Toronto has taken the wind out of Utah's sails a bit. Matias Michelli throws some snow as he taps the brakes in the corner. Michelli out in front, shoots and scores! And Matias Michelli scores against his old team. And now there's some rough stuff after the play. Dakota Joshua engaged with Stenlund, and everybody has to be separated. But Matias Michelli, matching up against his old mates, has gotten the better of Utah so far tonight. He has a goal and an assist. Joshua found him from below the goal line. It's the third goal in this game that has gone from below the goal line to out in front. Michelli shot that through a screen and buried it past Vanacek, who I don't think could see it. 4:20 to go in the third period. Utah now down by 2. Joshua's still barking at one of the Mammoth. Adrian, what did you make of that scrum after the goal?
Yeah, you got everybody there. Michelli obviously agitating it by scoring that goal, and you know he had some words with now a 2-point night against the Mammoth after he was a healthy scratch on Monday night.
Yeah, that was the first time he had been scratched this season. But he scores his third goal of the year here. He's been active, Adrian. I think he's played a skilled game, and they've put him with some good players, some guys who will do the dirty work for him. And that was a great goal right there through some traffic. He had a big season a few years ago. Last year, not what he wanted with Utah. Only 8 goals in 55 games. He was a healthy scratch a lot of nights. Puck comes down to the Utah line. John Marino hustles back to get it. Otherwise, it would have been a 2-on-1. 4-2 the score. Mammoth down by 2 for the first time here tonight. McBain cruises in. McBain backhander shoots. Stolars makes a save. Krause plowed his way to the front. McBain trying to get a piece of somebody. We've had some tensions boiling over. Linesmen have everybody separated here with 3:55 to go in the third period. Adrian, what do you make of that, though? Utah 3 times in this game has given up goals that have gone from below the goal line to out in front. Actually, hold that thought, AD. We'll come back to you in a bit. First, we have to cut to break with the Mammoth down 2 and about 4 to go in the third here at Scotiabank Arena.
I'm Dylan Guenther. You're listening to Utah Mammoth Hockey.
On the job, every minute counts. That's why Lowe's now has ProBlock Quick Dry Primer, expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast and go on smooth for virtually flawless results that keep your job moving. It's available in oil and water-based, and getting it is easy. Order online by 2 p.m. and get free same-day delivery right to your job site. Lowe's, we help, you save. Orders placed after 2 p.m. will be delivered next day. Valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. More terms apply.
Calling all Jazz fans. If you can't wait another second to see stars like Ace Bailey, Lowry Markkanen, and Walker Kessler tear up the court, you're in luck. Tickets are on sale now. Let's go! No matter what you're looking for, the Utah Jazz has your back. With season tickets, mini plans, and single game options available, there's something for everyone. Whatever your schedule or budget, there's a plan for every fan. Don't miss a moment of the action this season. Secure your tickets today at UtahJazz.com.
This fall, the season of cozy beginnings meets big savings. It's the fall new home move-in event from Visionary Homes. For a limited time, enjoy fall savings in northern Utah on select single-family homes, townhomes, and condos, starting in the high 200,000s. Same quality craftsmanship, locations you'll love, and designer finishes. Ready just in time for cozy nights, fire pits, and hot cocoa. Visit visionaryhomes.com to connect with their online new home specialists and explore communities and homes with limited time fall savings. Visionary Homes, built for life's moments.
Celebrate the action with Farr's Ice Cream, Utah's original favorite since 1920. Delicious, local, and unforgettable. Our Far Better Ice Cream, Far Better line of the night. Let's go with the top D pairing of Mikhail Sergachev and Dmitry Simashev. Simashev gets his first NHL point, setting up Sergachev's goal. It was Utah's second, and it tied the game at 1 at the moment. But now it's 4-2 with 4 minutes left in the third. The Maple Leafs have scored the last 2 goals and have taken control of this game in the third period. Utah's an empty net right now, 6 on 5. And just like that, the Maple Leafs shoot at the empty net. It goes off the outside. That was Nylander from the neutral zone. Mammoth have possession. Utah has never scored a 6 on 5 goal. They didn't score one all last year. They were the only team not to do so. Haven't scored one yet this year. Puck on the near side wall. Keller trying to crowbar it off the board. Schmaltz frees it up. Sergachev angles it off the wall. Peterka this way for Keller and then Cooley. Handed back to Schmaltz. Sergachev looking in from the blue line. Schmaltz up high. Keller. Utah in need of 2. Cooley blasted up against the boards and the Leafs get to it. It's Matthew Nyes to center. Nyes at the empty net scores. Utah didn't get anything even close to the net. The Leafs took it away, and Matthew Nyes gets the goal. Nyes gets credit for his 5th of the year. He now has himself a 6-game point streak. That is a career high for the Phoenix, Arizona native. 3 minutes left in the third. Vitek Vanacek goes back in net. It's 5-2. Nyes hits the empty netter. That was from the neutral zone after Utah just had the puck on the perimeter. Really good read. I think it was McCabe who checked Cooley up against the glass. He saw an opportunity to take the body. He pinned Cooley up against the glass, got it to the middle, and then the Maple Leafs were able to stretch it ahead. Matthew Nyes had enough space at center to offer a shot at the empty net, and he happened to hit the 6 feet wide opening. Or 2 meters if you're up here in Canada.
Mike, Jake McCabe.
On the third.
Sorry, Mike. Jake McCabe has had a really good third period. He was the one jostling and battling with Barrett Hayton in front of the net when he got that scoring chance that you referenced earlier, and that was a nice hit on Logan Cooley right there that freed that puck up.
McCabe, a defensive defenseman out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Been through some injury problems. He came over to Toronto in a trade back in 2023 when the Blackhawks were having a fire sale. And they liked him here in Toronto, bringing a little edge and some toughness. If he gets an assist on that, which I believe he is, that's points in 4 straight for Jake McCabe. This is the game that Utah had within its sights. Entering the third period, we were tied at 2. I think everybody on the Mammoth side felt pretty good. And things have just gotten away from the visitors here in period 3. Toronto taking control. They scored 4 goals quickly against Pittsburgh the other night. They had 4 goals in a span of 10 minutes and 12 seconds in the third period the other night against the Penguins, and it hasn't been quite that devastating against Utah, but they have taken an equal amount of control, which is to say all of it. 2 to go in the third. Mammoth will be in Montreal on Saturday night, taking on the Canadiens, and then in Ottawa. 2 back-to-backs on this road trip for Utah, with a couple days of rest in between. Off tomorrow, and then the team will practice Friday, and then get right back to work against the Habs. Utah will move to 1-2 on this road trip. There's certainly some things to figure out. 5-2 game right now, closing moments. That Cooley-Peterka-Gunther line was the most exciting line in the NHL throughout the first couple weeks of the season. They have fallen on hard times here recently. They are a relatively responsible line defensively. Here's Gunther ahead. Gunther on a break, shoots and scores! Dylan Gunther brings Utah back within 2 goals with 67 seconds left in the third period. Gunther picks up his 6th goal of the year after a stretch feed from Nate Schmidt. Schmidt had the puck below the goal line and fired a pass all the way up the ice to the opposite blue line. And Dylan Gunther buried it past Anthony Stolarz for his 6th goal of the year. So that's a little consolation for that line, which has been kept in check offensively and has been on the ice for a couple of goals against as well. Stolarz so far has stopped 19 of Utah's 22 shots. A decent night for him. That'll make this score look a little bit better. Still just over a minute left here in the third. We've seen crazier things. Mammoth still have Vitek Vanacek in the net. Schmaltz gains the zone. Schmaltz out wide. Centers. That goes through the blue paint. Vanacek is looking like he's ready to come out of his net, but not just yet. And there he goes to the bench. This is back behind the Toronto net. It's curled all the way down by the Maple Leafs and will be icing against Toronto with 44.5 seconds left in the third period. So a 2-goal game all of a sudden, and Utah's going to try and make some magic happen. We did see some late heroics. You think of Game 7 between the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. Last year up in Winnipeg, the Jets stormed back a couple goals in the closing minutes of that game to force overtime before they eventually won in OT. Puck cleared by Toronto again. This will be icing once more, and the Leafs are fine with that. Oh, they say no icing here. They wave it off. 30 seconds left in the third, and Utah has to really hustle. Sharply ahead for Lawson Krause. Krause out there with Keller, Gunther, and Stenlin. Schmaltz can't hold the zone with 15 seconds left. Sergachev, another dump in. Time winding down. Stolarz will shoot at the empty net. He turns it over. Keller shoots, saves Stolarz. I think Anthony Stolarz was looking at a potential goalie goal. Adrian, did you see that? I think Stolarz saw the empty net and was about to go for it.
Yeah, he was about ready to take out some of his frustration from this early season as he took that look down towards the Utah net. Just couldn't get enough on it. It was knocked down by Utah before it even got out of the zone by Lawson Krause.
6.9 seconds left in the third, and Vitek Vanacek goes back in net. Some of those top players go off the ice as well. Keller goes to the bench as the white flag is about at half-mast. Sergachev, one more drive, a save by Stolarz up high, and the final seconds melt away here at Scotiabank Arena. Toronto takes it 5-3 with 3 goals in the third period, including an empty netter. It wasn't Utah's best first 40 minutes, Adrian, but they had done enough to be tied with a very talented Maple Leafs team, but that third period is one they certainly will want back.
Kind of like that Tampa Bay game, Mike, on Sunday. If you find a way to pull that out, you move on, but everything was magnified because you couldn't. And I think same thing here, even with Utah in this second half of the back-to-back. But, Mike, Toronto did what Toronto does to win games. Big third period, 4 5-on-5 goals, coming from behind after another slow start. Their stars got 3 goals for them. So Maple Leafs played their brand, their game that they wanted to play. And you said they did a really good job getting the puck behind the Utah net and finding that open man as Utah was kind of scrambling around the zone. That's how they scored their last 3 goals before that empty netter.
And good for Matias Maccelli, a goal and an assist here tonight. He had the 4th goal, I believe, didn't he? So is that the game winner? It sure is. Matias Maccelli gets the game-winning goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs against his old team. He had trouble finding the lineup last year with Utah, but he gets a fresh start after Utah trades him over here to Toronto. And after being a healthy scratch last game, he contributes in a big way to this effort for the Maple Leafs in a 5-3 victory. But a disappointing finish to this one, no doubt. You're allowed to be a little upset after this finish. Good news is the road trip rolls on Saturday in Montreal.
Mike, and root for Matias Maccelli because he was traded for